And good evening, all you awesome people out there. My name is Scott Schertzen, and this is Streampunk Sports, now borderline going off the name Streampunk Entertainment. And welcome to Sunday Night Football reaction, rambling, and commentary as the Green Bay Packers have the chance to actually win the entire NFC and clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs by taking on a 7-8 Minnesota Viking team. This team right now, the Green Bay Packers, are in fact perfect at home. They're the only team in the NFL with a perfect record this season. And to make matters worse, they're going up against a team right now that in Minnesota is without their starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins, who is out due to COVID. On the plus side for Minnesota, the fact that they have Dalvin Cook back after COVID himself is a bit of a blessing. They're going to need him. But the truth of it is, this is a team that is a heavy underdog. Green Bay is fully expected to win this game. The favoritism right now is 13 points in favor of Green Bay as far as the betting line goes. And right now, I'm going to start this off right off the bat by saying that my final score on this isn't unimpressive, but pretty simplistic, 27-13. During the course of this game, I will be breaking down some of the other scores. Mr. J.D. Walker will be following up with me probably in a little bit, showing up, answering questions, talking to you guys, whatever you got. As always, if you have thoughts, comments, ideas, compliments, even complaints, I am down for all of that at this point. I don't really care. Definitely feel free to drop a comment, drop a thought. Let us know what you think. You got questions, thoughts, ideas, compliments, complaints. If you like me, if you think I suck, I'm down for all of it. Just roll with it. I also want to point out in this case right now, playing in Green Bay, Wisconsin, it is currently a very, very balmy 9 degrees out. For those of you outside the U.S. who use the much superior, in my mind, Celsius or metric system as opposed to the imperial system, it is your equivalent of negative 13 degrees. With the wind chill up there in Green Bay, however, it has a real feel of -2, or for my Celsius folks, a negative 19 degrees and going to be dropping. So by the time this game is over, it's supposed to be 9 degrees right now. It's probably going to drop down to, by estimation, about 5 degrees out by the time this game is over around 11:30 at night. Personally, not my cup of tea. The older I get, the more I really kind of hate the cold. But you know what? Credit to these Green Bay folks. If they don't mind actually getting, hypothermia there, if they don't mind getting a little windburn, their head coach right now, Matt LaFleur, with a complete red face right now, just because of the fact that, the wind is already getting to him, the cold is already getting to him, and it's going to probably get worse before it gets better. Right now, they are showing Mr. Aaron Rodgers, who may be playing his swan song to some degree in the regular season with Green Bay. Who knows where he's going to be starting next season? Some of the talk will also involve the possibility of him going to Pittsburgh, as well as a few other teams as well. They have just done a highlight out of respect, and I'll be talking about this one today. When it comes to John Madden, obviously, it's hit the football world pretty well about the fact that John Madden passed away a couple of days ago, and it's a shock to the NFL in a lot of ways. It's a shock to sports, I think, worldwide, because of what he meant, not just to football, but also to, I think, bringing football to the mainstream. For me, at 46 years old, growing up in the 80s, baseball was the big sport. It was the most popular sport. Yeah, the Super Bowl was always, bigger as an individual day. But as games themselves go, football was second fiddle to baseball. What I think changed a lot of that was, in fact, John Madden. I mentioned this morning on the NFL Insiders with Eduardo, that I think part of the reason why the NFL is now bigger than baseball is because of the fact of John Madden football. John Madden football brought an appearance and brought football home in a way no sports game had ever done. Going back to the early 90s with the Genesis, with the Super Nintendo, the ability to have individual plays for individual teams, have the players, have the team colors, have various options of various things you can do, set plays, just things on the fly, gave the home fan a chance to really be involved and immersed and get to know the players a lot better. And I think over the course of literally 30 years of Madden games, football has become a way of life here. Last time we did the show, we didn't do the show on Thursday because there was no Thursday night football. There won't be this week either coming up. But someone had asked me, I think a couple of weeks ago, about how to explain football. And the reason I understand football in a lot of ways is because of John Madden. So that I think has brought football to the mainstream and is the reason why it is frankly the most popular sport in the US right now. In a lot of ways, it's actually growing in throughout the world as well. You see what the numbers are going to be like and what continue to be like in the UK. Tottenham Stadium was filled. And honestly, they for the by and large had crap teams played over there in October. But it was something that, again, when it comes down to it, it was John Madden that made that happen. I had Madden games. I had all the way back to 1994 was my first one, and to be able to see the all Madden team, to be able to, pick your, watch your favorite players, do all this kind of stuff. I spent years buying Madden games, and every year you had to have the new one. Every year you had to basically, see where your players were at the rankings, where the player, where your team was going to be ranked. And being a New York Giants fan, they typically were never very high because when I started collecting the the Madden games in '94, it was right after like Phil Simms had left. LT was on his way out, so the team was in transition, and as a result, it showed when it came to Madden football. They are still doing a tribute to John Madden. A lot of people don't really remember that he was actually, in fact, the head coach of the Oakland Raiders for a while, and B, or maybe A and a half, he was also the head coach of a then football player turned Apollo Creed and now cast member of Mandalorian, Carl Weathers. People forget that Carl Weathers actually played 2 seasons with the Oakland Raiders on defense, and John Madden was his head coach. So I found that curious. But they're showing the tribute right now. They're showing him cutting into their turducken. Turducken, by the way, is something that is famous because of John Madden. I think if he was not illustrating the turkey, the duck, and the chicken and putting the one inside the other and all this kind of stuff, I don't think we would have, turducken mainstream like we do right now. And I got to tell you, that's kind of funny in some ways. I personally have never had turducken myself, so I have no idea how it is, but I've heard decent things. You would think with poultry and my desire to actually eat poultry and the protein aspects of it, you'd think I'd actually want to take it, but so far I haven't. Anyway, we'll get back and we'll talk a little bit more about John Madden as time goes on. The players have taken the field at this point. As I mentioned at the top of the show, it's going to be a very, very heavy uphill climb for the Minnesota Vikings. They are already the underdog in this game by 13 points. Aaron Rodgers has a phenomenal record. Okay, there's the first three half-naked guys. I was going to do an over-under of about 8 guys showing up on camera today that were going to be without clothes on, as the weather is, like I said, currently 9 degrees. So we're at 3 right now. Meant to say that. But I don't think right now that the Vikings really have much of a shot, especially even with Kirk Cousins in the lineup. I think it wouldn't have mattered much because this is a Green Bay team that's 12-3. The Cowboys lost in some ways, surprisingly to some, surprisingly but not surprisingly to me. I thought it was kind of mixed on that one. But as a result, Green Bay can clinch home field throughout the playoffs, which is a huge advantage to Aaron Rodgers, which I'll talk about in a minute, with simply a win tonight. So the odds are damn good that this team is going to win the division tonight. I'm sorry, win the NFC in this case in the first round overall. Aaron Rodgers, this may be his swan song with Green Bay. If he goes out with a Super Bowl, I don't think there's anything better with him in this case. I don't know what's going to happen going forward with Jordan Love. They're going to be able to, rebound, or if it's going to be something where they're going to have a couple off seasons before they need to come back up. I don't know. But for Aaron Rodgers, I personally think he's tired of playing in this freezing cold. I would not be surprised if he headed a little further south with a team that's going to win. I don't think he's done yet. I don't. First handoff, I think it says Lazard picks up about 2 yards on that, sets up a second down and 8. No, it's Jones, I'm sorry. And here we are underway. Aaron Rodgers right now has an 86% win percentage at home in his career. He has a 108 QB rating at home. And this season has a 110.8 QB rating, 33 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So Minnesota drew the short end of the stick. They got Dalvin Cook back. You can see Dalvin Cook. I put him over there because he is back in the lineup after COVID. But again, not going to be enough. So there is our first completion right off the bat. That is going over to Devontae Adams. He picks up about 15 or 16 on that. And they're just moving the ball down the field pretty much precisely as expected. If Green Bay takes this lead quickly, it is going to force Sean Marion, who is the backup quarterback starting tonight, to have to throw that ball. And I don't think he's going to be ready for that. This could be in some ways very similar to what we saw with Monday night when the Miami Dolphins took on Ian Book in his first start and was completely overmatched. I felt so bad for that kid. If you saw that game the other day, you saw how bad I absolutely felt with the fact that this kid was completely overpowered in his first game. Fourth round pick, first game out, Monday Night Football, national attendance, second play, in his career, and he throws a pick six, and the game just kind of went downhill from there. So right now the Pack are moving well. It is second down and actually 3 yards at this point. They are at the Minnesota 47-yard line, and they're still, I wouldn't say there's only 2 minutes into this game at this point. Rodgers is back with the shotgun, throws over center, and the ball is off the hands and incomplete. You might see a lot of that tonight. With this cold weather, you may see a lot of balls go off hands just because of the fact, like I said, it's currently 9 degrees Fahrenheit, by the way, let me clarify that, and dropping all the way down to a modest 5 degrees. Again, the older that I get, the absolutely unbridledly less I want to deal with cold. So I could not, for the life of me, ever be able to handle that. Respect to those that can. Again, my prediction on this was a pretty simple one. I think the Packers are going to cruise. They'll take an early lead. They'll go like 27, like 3 kind of thing, and then just cruise, maybe go up some garbage points, and that'll be the end of that. So Aaron Rodgers is back, throws it deep down the left sideline, and Adams picks it up. And that is down to the 16, maybe 17-yard lines. So they are already crushing this at this point. Clock is continuing to run. And once this drive is over, once we have a commercial on there, I'll probably actually swing off topic a little bit. I do want to talk a little bit about what happened today with Antonio Brown. I think this is deeper rooted than just, weird millionaire player being weird millionaire player. I think that's the easy response that a lot of people have, but I will go into that as soon as this drive is over and we have a commercial break, which may actually end up coming pretty soon, depending if Green Bay can pick up the touchdown. They actually got the snap off just in time, incomplete pass, second down now, but that could have been called a delay game right there. That was something that was a little underthrown, granted, but he got that play off just in time, and you could have argued that would have been a delay game. They're showing head coach Mike Zimmer right now, only head coach with 500 or better against Green Bay since 1992. Also, interestingly enough, the Vikings, Aaron Rodgers is 8-3-1 in his career against the Vikings, but he only has a 500 record against them at home. So that's going to be curious to see what ends up happening there. Throw over the middle, and that should have been your first touchdown of the game, but the ball was dropped. Again, I have to wonder, with the weather being as cold as it is, if that ball's a little bit colder now, and maybe it's a little harder to get a good grip on that ball. It does bring up a third down and 10 with 12:33 left. That he could have. It looks like his hands just went up a little bit late on that, but that could have been easily a touchdown right there. And Aaron Rodgers, you see the look on his face. He flipping knew that right off that should have been a 6. But here we are, third down and 10, and Aaron Rodgers is back in the shotgun, and still waiting. 3, 2, 1. There we go. And snaps the ball. So roll out, throw underneath. It's going to be short by a long margin. Picks up 1 yard, but it's going to set up a fourth down, and field goal range in the kicking unit is clearly going to be coming out. Aaron Rodgers is clearly disappointed. That should have been a touchdown on that last play before this, and I could understand why he'd be pissed about it. Yeah, that was going to go nowhere fast, that rollout there. So Mason Crosby has not had the best of seasons this year. He's 21 for 30. He's missed 9 field goals, which is actually worse in the NFL, and 35 yards in this case. And they're really running that game play clock down. Kick is up. It's a chip shot, and it's good. So immediately, Green Bay is now up 3-0. So pretty quickly, just taking off at that point. We're going to see what Sean Mannion can do when we come back after the break, as Green Bay will be kicking the ball off at that point. 11:48 left in the first quarter. Okay, as I had mentioned, I wanted to talk about this. I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to type this in. Call this Antonio Brown mental illness. People are right now ripping him solid because of what happened at MetLife Stadium earlier today. He ripped, in case you guys don't know, in the middle of after halftime, he ripped off his shirt. He ripped off his jersey, threw it down. He ripped off his shirt, threw it in the stands, ripped off his gloves, threw it in the stands, and then just walked into the locker room. He has since been released by the Tampa Bay Bucks. That could cause some kind of a challenge with this team in come playoff time, but forgetting that for a second. He has been ripe for parody right now because it's like Antonio Brown's Antonio Brown. And it was actually my wife that reminded me, and I'm glad she did, that maybe it's something more than that. Maybe it's not the fact that he is just, some multimillionaire diva, but rather someone with a legit mental illness right now that is causing a problem for him and how he reacts to things. I'd like to, this is going to sound weird, but I almost kind of hope so, because I think it would rationalize, justify, and maybe in some ways help people accept that what he's going through is not just strictly just being quirky, but something as a deeper rooted issue. One of the things that I think is solid right now is I'm seeing a greater attention being drawn to mental illness and how it's happening in the NFL and just life in general. And I got to wonder if he has something like a bipolar disorder, some kind of a schizophrenia, something in there that's causing this kind of thing to happen, that he does get the assistance that he needs. He does make this happen and he can rebound from this. Forget the NFL right now. It's about living a normal life and finding a way to manage that. I think it's possible that if it is something like it is bipolar disorder, that if he gets treatment, yes, I think he could come back into the NFL. I'm going to be a little bit of a dick on this one and say that I think whatever team takes him would be taking him more for good PR than they would be for his own mental health, where they can take a shot on someone who has acknowledged that they have a mental illness, that they have a challenge, something that they're working through, and a team that takes a flyer on him can either A, look really good by giving him a second chance, third chance, whatever you want to call it, at least second chance after he came out with the fact that he has this, or B, if it goes south, they can at least say they tried. Either way, an NFL team, I think, can come out smelling like a rose if they decide to pick him up, if it is indeed some sort of a mental illness of some sort, and he does get treatment. He is still young. He still has talent, and I do think he can come back and rebound from this. But we need to find out at the core root of this, what is this? Is it something where he is just being a diva asshole, or is it something greater underlying where he has a condition that is causing all of this to happen? You look at the NFL, you look at what's happening in the NFL. They're showing the field goal right there. It was a really bad. It was a terrible snap and terrible placement. That kick was almost missed there too. But anyway, as far as Antonio Brown goes, in some ways, I'm kind of weirdly hoping that it is some sort of mental illness, like bipolar or something, to at least justify what's going on there. I'm going to get back to the game at this point. Basically, Vikings just picked up a first down. They got about 13, 14, still on his feet, actually down to about 18, 19 yards. So credit right there to Green Bay. Or Minnesota. They've already recently started to rebound. So Sean Mannion with a good pass on that, a good pass and run. But we'll come back to Antonio Brown and everything that's happening there probably later on as we go on. Mannion with the rollout, completion, low throw right there, but it was enough to be able to make things happen. And immediately, Minnesota is now down in Green Bay territory at the 43-yard line. Took one play to do it. So, and let's see. Stoppage of play on the field. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but it looks like referees are conferring something. He was down and then got up. Conklin was down and then got up and kept running. I don't know if they're going to call it a tackle when he was down, or if they're going to basically say that he continued to run. They're going to, let's see, 11:08 remaining, by the way, in the first quarter. It is an official challenge by Green Bay to try and place the spot of the ball because it would be probably a 14-yard difference right there. I give them credit. It's a ballsy challenge to do first, right in the first quarter, because if you miss that challenge, you're out of challenges the rest of the game. And not for nothing, you're short of timeout to start for the end of the first half. All right. So anyway, like we got a commercial right now, so I'm going to just kind of finish up my little Antonio Brown thing for the moment. It sucks. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. And it sucks being a laughing stock. I can't imagine what it's like to be a laughing stock there, but I do know a little bit of what it's like to be a laughingstock on the internet. So it happened to me about 6 years ago, and I lapsed into depression from that, and that shit sucked. I can't imagine in a case like this. Um, but as this game goes on, we're going to be talking a little bit more about what happened throughout the NFL today. The Jets made it interesting against the Bucks. Since we're talking about the Bucks anyway, they made it interesting with the Bucks and almost pulled out a win, almost. But in the end, Tampa does what Tampa does, and they won that thing 28-24. But we're still in a commercial break, so I'll just keep going with this one here. Again, what happens now with Antonio Brown is more about his off the field. Can he recover from this? Is this something that he can make? This issue that happened, Bruce Arians has already released him. This issue that happened today with, at MetLife Stadium against the Jets has in some ways greatly damaged what's going to happen with Tampa at the end of the season. Tampa right now is tied for second overall in the NFC. Presuming, again, in all likelihood, that Green Bay takes this game, it's going to come down between them and the Rams about which one's going to have the number 2 slot. Technically, the Cowboys have a shot at this, but even without Godwin and with Fournette and with Gronk and with Mike Evans being gimpy and questionable as they often are, and Antonio Brown being out, I think the Bucks will win next week at home against Carolina. So let's presume a win there. But it comes down to where do they place? If Green Bay can clinch the NFC and get home field advantage, they have a quarterback with an 86% career win percentage at home since he started. At home, Aaron Rodgers has a 108 QB rating for his career. And that is going to be at home, but let's clarify at home. That is going to be immensely difficult for any team to overtake that. That cold is going to suck for anybody going through there, too. LA, Carolina, LA, Arizona, Dallas, Tampa, all these teams are southern teams. They would have to go north to Green Bay. We're against the temperatures, by the way, dropped down to 8 degrees. So it's getting a little bit colder. Dalvin Cook with a quick run on this one, picks up a couple of yards now down in midfield. The added yardage that was picked up has been called back. They called that a tackle first. So they are now back at midfield. And despite everything that run by Conklin, pass by to Conklin wasn't bad, and they're still making good progress anyway. You want to be able to try and rebound. They're only down 3-0, granted, but you do not want to have Aaron Rodgers have that ball. The longer he has it, the less likely you're going to win this game. Hand off to Cook off the left side and sets up a third down and about 5 down to about the Minnesota 47, 48-yard line. 10:48 left in the first quarter. Clock is still continuing to run. It's been pretty unmanageable so far. We've had a lot of stoppages. We already had one one challenge so far at this point. It's been a little bit of a slow go. But this is a team that, while they have Dalvin Cook back, and that's a good thing, the fact that they don't have Kirk Cousins in the lineup and are going with a backup quarterback is going to hurt Minnesota for this particular game. And again, Green Bay would love nothing more to win this game and clinch the NFC home field advantage throughout the playoffs on their own home turf on national television. So 10:16 left. Banyan rolls out, throws it over the top, and it is complete. And down to the 30, down to the 22-yard line, I think I was going to say in this case. So Conklin with another pickup, nice pickup on that one as well. And now suddenly the Vikings are making some progress here. 10:06 left in the first quarter. They are down to the Green Bay 22-yard line. And Green Bay, remember, only picked up 3. They had a touchdown. That ball was dropped. Again, I think the absolute unbridled cold weather is going to make catching that ball a little bit tougher because that ball is going to be a lot harder. And it's going to hurt a hell of a lot more probably when you catch it. So, but never mind. There's a flag on the play. Ineligible man downfield. Mr. Clay Martin is the referee, his 4th season as an NFL referee. And that shit's going to get called back. So that whole 22-yard line thing, driving, everything I just said about Minnesota, gone. And, it's going to drive the ball back to probably back into Minnesota territory, I think, at this point. So, illegal man downfield. That was a rollout. It took a little longer for that pass to get thrown. And there it is. Yep. So that was that hurt. That is a bad penalty right there. But it sets up a 3rd down and 9. That's not what you needed right there, especially after that pickup that you had. So, all right, now they're back at the 47-yard line, 3rd down and 7. And Bannion's in the shotgun. Fair amount of time, pass underneath, but it's going to be short. Unless he can push it. Nope, he's out of bounds. So they pick up about 8 on that, setting up a 4th down and 1. I would almost consider them going for it right now. They're at, you're too close to punt. You're too far away for a field goal. It's fourth down and only a yard. You got to, I think, be aggressive. I would love to see them basically go for it on fourth down right now. Obi, if you're listening to this, I have completely turned into you. I saw something with the Giants game earlier. I'll get into that a little bit later during a commercial break. But I flipped my shit and I was thinking about you at that point. My Giants, of course, also lost 29-3, and they gave up more yards. They gave up more points than they actually had passing yards. They had 24 passing yards for the game because my Giants are a piece of shit. Anyway, fourth down here, 9:25 left in the first quarter. Green Bay is up 3-0 right now. Minnesota still technically is in the playoff hunt, but boy, they got to pull out a miracle to make this happen. And I think they're calling a timeout at this point. I have no idea what's going on. My God, this has been a slow first quarter. Holy hell, we're 25 minutes in, and it's not even 6 minutes into the first quarter. Oh, boy. So I'm going to be here until like midnight at this point. Yeah, cool. I'll fall asleep here like I usually do. But all right. Fourth down at this point. Anyway, how you kids doing out there? You guys have a good – if you celebrated Christmas, did you have a good Christmas? If you celebrated Kwanzaa, did you have a good Kwanzaa? If you celebrated New Year's, did you have a good New Year's? Let me know in the comments. Did you have a New Year's anything along the lines of what I did, where I took a nap about 8 o'clock, woke up at 8:30, and then come midnight, my wife and I had Slater, hung out on the couch, basically just watched crap until 2 o'clock and said, screw it, we're going to bed. Because when you're in your mid-40s, you typically don't party as much as you did when you were in your 20s. So that was my whopping New Year's there. Popped over to quit. Oh, I think the ref is in bad shape right now. I don't know what happened, but oh yeah, it looks like the ref is getting checked. The ref is getting checked out, and the umpire is getting checked out. Could be a cramp or something because again, it's fucking cold out there. Calling it a fourth down and 3. Actually, I left it up there. I didn't realize I did, but yeah, it is currently 9 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you Celsius folks, it is currently negative 13 Celsius. The wind chill makes it a 2 degrees or a negative 19. So I just got a note from J.D. Walker. He'll be on in a few minutes. So he dozed off on the couch. Let's see. Green Bay wins the Super Bowl and Rodgers leaves. I can't think of any comparable situation. I don't know. I mean, here's my question on this. If he does get the Super Bowl, and I think in this case, he would want to do it both for himself and for Green Bay, but more the fans, not the ownership and management. I don't know what he would want to do. I have a weird feeling in my gut that he would want to continue. Maybe 1-2 seasons. I don't know. But I think it would be someplace warmer. I think it would be someplace where, by the way, fourth down and 3, snap, faked handoff to Dalvin Cook, roll out, throw, and it is dropped. Catch should have been caught, first down, and dropped by him. So Green Bay gets the ball back. Anyway, I could see him possibly going someplace warmer, but it's going to be a curious situation because where would he go that would be warmer, would be accepting of someone his age? Granted, his numbers are great, but also a team that can compete. That's the other side of it. That's the third part that I think would matter here. I could see certain teams wanting a quarterback. I could see Houston possibly wanting to make a stamp on that. I could see the Giants. Well, I'd like to see the Giants do that, but they won't. But I could see some teams do it, but he's not going to go in for a rebuild situation. He is going to move right from winning situation to winning situation. I saw a picture the other day of him in a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. That could be possible. It's not as warm as maybe he would have wanted it, but I think it's still a possibility anyway. Roethlisberger, I think he's done. I think they're going to move on from him, and they should. But he could, who knows, maybe head there. I think if the offer is there and the money is there, San Francisco may be a possibility, I think, for someone like him as well. That is a team right now. They had another win today. They're going to the playoffs. Where they land is still up for debate. But San Francisco, I think, could work for a guy like him. I don't know where else would be able to be a fit for someone like that to be able to have a chance to win. On the AFC side of things, maybe Tennessee could be possible too. Maybe he wants to stay out of the conference, or who knows? He and Shalane are just like, or Shalane Woodley, or we're out. We're going to call it a career, and I'll see you in 5 years when basically I'm in Canton. It's possible there too. One thing I do think is I do not want him to host Jeopardy. I found him to be really kind of dull for Jeopardy, and I'm not a big fan of that at all. I can't think of any situation that's better, but I think it's just he has burned himself out of that environment. He's tired of them, and he doesn't really want to have to deal with that management and ownership and any of that anymore. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious about your thoughts on this, but I'd like to be able to see what he can do elsewhere. His numbers, like I said, he is the greatest quarterback at home in NFL history. That's massive company. I did research on this about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I looked at like the best QB rating for like Hall of Fame or future Hall of Fame quarterbacks at home. He had the best QB rating of any player at home, and that's Aaron Rodgers. And like I said, I love what he's been able to do for that team. I love what he's been able to bring to the table. And frankly, I have said it since the beginning of the year. This Super Bowl was probably going to go through on the NFC side of it anyway, Green Bay or Tampa. Right now, I would vote Green Bay. They win this game, and they clinch home field. He has an 86% win percentage at home. They get the bye so they can rest up a little bit before they have to actually go into it. And then 2 wins and they're back in the Super Bowl again. What a hell of a swan song. So speaking of Aaron Rodgers, he and his long hair are actually coming back on the field at this point. They're getting under center. I'm not a big fan of his longer hair. I just don't think it actually works for him. But what do I know? I don't have any hair up top of the head of my head anyway. So, all right, handoff underneath, cross midfield, picks up about 6 on that, and sets up a second down at 4. It is now 8:56 left in the first quarter. I have been at this for a half an hour right now, and we're fucking 6 minutes into this game, man. Dude, at this current pace, I will be done with this probably around 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I still have workout numbers I got to do that I haven't done yet. So I really hope this game is done earlier so I can actually get them done, get to bed. But anyway, irrespective of that, for you guys out there, you could always follow us on Twitch, on Instagram at StreamPunk Sports, and also on Twitter as well at StreamPunk ENT, StreamPunk Entertainment. And the website goes live there as well. All right, handoff underneath, picks up about 2 on that's going to set up a third down and about 2. They are currently at the Minnesota 42-yard line. Nope. I don't know how long he's been sitting there. I wasn't paying attention. I've been busy rambling. So, how you doing, sir?
Good afternoon, Scott. Or evening, whatever time it is.
You know what? Afternoon is fine. We'll go on Hawaiian time in this case.
Mm-hmm.
And how was your New Year's, good sir?
It was fine. We just had just stayed home and had one friend over, so nothing too crazy.
We talked about it. We never got around that far. So, yeah, hit up Quick Check, watch the ball drop, went to bed 2 hours later. That was about it. Whoopee.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, anyway, handoff, down the sideline, first down, inside the 30, inside the 20, down inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line. So, Green Bay is pushing the ball again. Jones with a great pickup on that. And, first down. So far today at this point, I've talked about how friggin' cold it is right now in Green Bay at a current modest 8 degrees at the moment. I talked a little bit about Antonio Brown and everything that happened today with the Jets and the deeper rooted issues that I think exist there. So anything you want to talk about, anything you want to consider or roll into, please do. But
regarding Antonio Brown, concussions are bad, okay?
But that, or is it some kind of underlying mental illness is still possible there too?
Absolutely.
So, quick handle. But what's sad about it is I've watched the internet rip him apart today. And I think a lot of people are going to, if something comes out where he is diagnosed bipolar, CTE, or something like that, a lot of people are going to look like assholes inside themselves. They won't come out and say that they were assholes, but they'll at least think it up top.
I've fought for years that as Antonio Brown's behavior has gotten progressively more and more bizarre over the years, that there's definitely some, it unfortunately has all of the textbook signs of CTE. I'm not a medical professional by any means, but, we've seen this a bunch of times before, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I just hope he gets the help he needs and doesn't hurt others or himself.
Yeah. He has already been released from Tampa. That's going to hurt, I think, their playoff chances a little bit right now with all the injuries that they've had over there. But that's not an issue to deal with from that standpoint.
He should have been released after as far as I'm concerned, I think he should have been released after the fake vaccine card. He's had enough. He's had more than enough second chances.
Mm. Yeah, but unless maybe they know something that we haven't yet, which is always possible. Call it HIPAA if you will, call it bad PR, whatever you like. Completion under the top, and that's going to bring up a fourth down there. Green Bay's going to have to kick a field goal again. So, but yeah, as far as he goes, I don't know. I mean, if it is even something like a bipolar issue, where what happened right now is some level of hypomania, it's. I could almost hypothetically see him getting another shot in the NFL because I could almost see a team doing the good PR thing and taking it. And even if you go south, they're like, we tried.
If Antonio Brown wasn't, not to knock anybody that may or may not have any kind of mental illness, but having a mental illness does not excuse some of the things that he's done. Even before today.
Yeah. By the way, 4th down and 3. Aaron Rodgers throws over top and batted away by Adams to avoid the interception, and in the process they get rid of the ball
flag there.
Yeah. So far a little bit of a closer game than I had expected. I predicted 27-13 for this one. Devontae Adams actually tips it away from Alexander to, I guess, avoid the interception. Not an impressive first two drives or first quarter for them.
That replay looked more like it could have been offensive pass interference. Not like it matters on 4th down, but
sure. But right now, like I said, a little over 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Very slow moving first quarter, I have to also say here too.
Well, I was out running errands for most of the afternoon, so I saw the last few minutes, of the Jets Bucks game, right after the Eagles game ended down here. And what was funny was I had checked the score on my phone beforehand, and I checked a few times and said, wow, the Jets are still winning. This is surprising. Then I saw, okay, Jets up by 4. Bucks have the ball with 2 minutes left from their own 10. Yep, no chance.
Yep. And then Tampa's got a Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And not an impressive win by Tampa in this case here from the numbers, but you don't know what he was doing to prep, to see how his guys are working. I think it was you that actually said that he'll use a game like this to watch and adjust going forward for playoff time.
Yes, for sure.
And especially with the fact that they've got Carolina at home next week, it could be much of the same. And now, in all likelihood, there's one less team that they have to compete with for second place overall.
Yeah,
Cowboys. It's a little bit a half surprising, half unsurprising loss today.
With the Cowboys, yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys.
That certainly makes it no picnic for the Eagles needing to clinch a spot next week. They do have the upper hand. I haven't looked at the exact scenarios yet, because it was pending the outcome of the games. But the Eagles are in surprisingly good shape for a playoff spot.
Yeah, they did get the win today. It was close at certain times. They did 120-16, but the fact that the fact that Washington didn't have Antonio Gibson, I think made all the difference here. If he's in that lineup, I think the Cowboys, shit. I think the Eagles lose in this case if Antonio Gibson is in that lineup. Sorry, I do better when I have alcohol in my system. But yeah, so right now we're back in the action. Right now, Lambeau looks really nice, but shit, it is like I said, it's currently 8 degrees.
The thermometer shows 8.
Yeah. I predicted the over/under on half-naked guys in attendance. Up fumble on the handoff and suddenly down at the 3-yard line there. I predicted that the over/under on half-naked guys in attendance that would be seen would be 8. We're currently sitting at 3.
I'd take the over on that.
Yeah. Well, how many show up on camera is the big thing. So, but Sean Mannion has not. What's that? Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a sluggish one, not a slugfest.
If we're at 3 before the end of the first quarter, you think we got to hit 8 before the end of the game?
I think so. But like I said, you always got those people there. The temperature is supposed to drop to 5 degrees, which for our Celsius folks would be negative 19. So do the math on that. And that's not even wind chill. Wind chill right now is currently negative 3. And yesterday was, 52 degrees here in Jersey?
Something like that. I saw a 62 down here in south of Philly this afternoon on some bank that we drove by.
Well, it's supposed to snow tonight, I heard. It's supposed to be like 33 degrees, some slush and some snow. Not bad, but a little bit of inclement weather up here.
Yeah, we have a little bit for down here, except for tomorrow morning, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that much. But just enough to screw up the roads. And I have a friend actually who's supposed to fly back to Colorado tomorrow out of the airport down here. We're like, yeah, good luck with that flight.
I don't know if it's going to be that bad. Not for the snow I've been hearing, but by the way, they're short on this one. They threw underneath, picks up about 7 on that, but it picks up a 4th down and 2, and out comes the punting unit yet again. But I like this winter so far. I checked the weather here. It's not supposed to be any snow really for the next 10 days. I'll take it because fuck snow.
I don't have to shovel it. So as long as there isn't enough to shovel, I'm okay with it.
One of the deals that Robin and I had made with this place, when I looked at this place and I'm like, I really liked what it brought to the table. And she's like, one of the deals was, if we got this place, I have to do the snow or the snow removal. And I agreed to it. And in some ways, I kind of regret my decision to agree to that.
Yeah.
Because we got 27 inches of snow. The problem with that is there's no place to put the snow here. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got a long, narrow driveway there, don't you?
Yeah. How'd you know that?
And it looks like we have interfering with did he call for a fair catch there? Let's see.
No, but I think you have to at least give him the opportunity.
Yeah, he still ran into him before the ball did, so penalty no matter what.
Yeah. Is that a personal foul, though? I don't know. Nope. But 2:50 left. Probably another TV timeout up and coming. So we could use that time to talk about some of the other games that are actually happening in the NFL.
No penalty because the Packers player blocked him into the into the receiver.
So in this case, yeah. So still going first down, or 3 minutes, a little under 3 minutes left at this point, first quarter. Green Bay does get the ball back. They've had a lot of time today. They should honestly be up 10-0 at a minimum, but so far, honestly, they haven't had a lot to show for this. Time of possession is a modest 7.5 to just 3.5. Total yards, total yards is 100 to 31. Passing yards is 25 for Minnesota, which is already more than the Giants got all game today, as they ended with 24 total yards passing before sacks.
I don't know about you, but I'm getting real tired of at this point in the season rooting for my teams to lose for the better draft pick.
Yeah, well, your team at least made it interesting today. My team gave up 14 points in the first 2 drives, for the Bears, and the Bears did not have the ball first. First play from scrimmage was a sack, a fumble, and a return down to the 3-yard line. And it went downhill from there.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad enough that we have another week of this because, collectively I'm in the,
thanks, 17 games.
Playoffs. Oh, no, we have another week. These games have already been bad enough. It's been a slog the last few weeks.
Oh, God, yeah.
And of course, being fans of teams that have no chance whatsoever, you just want to get it over with.
But there is a benefit to it. I've watched my karma rating on Reddit go up as I rant about this. You just take basically a comment, you throw a couple memes up there, your rating goes up because misery loves company.
Especially on Reddit.
Oh yeah, my numbers on Reddit are so much better than they are on Twitter. I don't know why that is, but I'll take what I can get anyway.
Let the hate flow through you.
Oh my God, dude! Oh God. Misery, like I said, misery loves company. But they had more turnovers than they had points today. The New York Rangers and the Devils both outscored the New York Giants today.
There's just nothing left to say about it. Did they have, was it Glennon or Fromm today?
Glennon. 4 basically 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles.
There's nothing left to say about this team. Okay, so the Packers do clinch if they win tonight.
Yeah, they clinched because of the fact that the Cowboys slightly surprisingly lost. That loss actually, in some ways, could, believe it or not, I think hurt Arizona because they have the best record on the road in the NFL. They're 8-1. Right.
Arizona's
On the road, yeah. They're terrible at home, but they're great on the road. So a wild card is arguably the best thing that could actually happen to them. Go Fig.
I still think we're probably ending up with another Green Bay, Tampa Bay NFC Championship through one way or another.
I think so. I think it'll probably go through that in some way. The Rams, I think, have an outside shot, but how can you not really go with this Green Bay team?
Aaron Rodgers, that's why.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that's the X factor there. 86% win percentage of his career. Best QB rating at home of any Hall of Fame or future Hall of Fame quarterback in NFL history. And it's like, oh, yeah, you have to go through that and all the cold and the crap, which Tampa, Dallas, Arizona, and LA are not used to. What's that?
Tampa did it last year.
Yeah, Tampa did do it last year, granted, but I don't think it happens again. Yeah, I just don't. I think that was a bit of a magical year, and they lost some of the magic this year.
Yeah, last year, you can never count on Brady until his team is actually eliminated.
That's fair. 3rd down and 1, by the way, they're in the shotgun. But for some reason for Tampa last year, it felt like a little bit of a Cinderella underdog story. Granted, it was him and Gronk, but it had this feel-good Cinderella feel to it, and I don't feel that this year. Arizona has more of the Cinderella feel than they do, but it's not enough to be able to overturn what I'm seeing here.
Arizona's also been playing, with today being the exception, been playing like garbage for the better part of a month. I felt like they had a good chance once I saw the stats. At one point during the game, I had it on and off this afternoon. At one point, they showed Kyler Murray's record in AT&T Stadium, going back to high school, and he's
I saw that too. Yeah,
I think he was 4-0 for various high school games. Won there in college, and has won so far in the NFL. Has never lost.
He's 9-0 at that stadium. So terrible. Oh my God, that was a garbage punt there. Down to about the 27-ish yard line. Oh, still moving up.
Yeah.
Shank that punt.
This looks like the kind of game that only NFL films can make interesting.
This is the kind of game that typically is the one I end up broadcasting. I think it's the Scott factor. So guys, if you took the under, I think you got an advantage here. I'm sorry in advance for any of you guys who took the over or hoping for a good game. It's me broadcasting, so it's going to suck. I'm sorry. I'm just cursed that way. But we're 35 seconds left. This may
what is the over under for this game?
I actually do not know. I know that the Green Bay is favored by 13 on this one. Over under Green Bay.
We have
hand off to Dalvin Cook off to the side, picks up that 5.
According to Yahoo, the over under is
42.5.
Packers minus 12.5. Yikes.
Yeah. Again, Minnesota does not have Kirk Cousins. They got Dalvin Cook back, which is good, but no Kirk Cousins means it's going to be a problem putting in the back quarterback.
Is he COVID protocol or other injury?
It's COVID.
I can't even keep track of all these players. There's some between bodily injuries and COVID protocol and all that. Just every team is shorthanded.
I had heard something that 30% of the population in New Jersey have COVID at this point, or have had it. I don't know if there's truth to that, but shit, I wouldn't surprise me.
I'm surprised it's not higher.
Maybe it's 30% right now. But yeah, end of the first quarter here. But again, COVID has wreaked havoc with them, just like it did with the Saints the other day. Was that?
We actually had Christmas dinner with my partner's parents canceled for the second time. First was because her dad got COVID. He's fine. He just had the sniffles and was down for the count for a few days, but pretty mild case. And now her mom just got her positive test result back.
Yeah, we're not sure if Robin got exposed at one of her jobs, because they had the woman who was exposed come into work anyway, and then didn't bother to tell her until she was there for like 2 hours. So we ended up.
Yeah,
You know.
well, even with her mom, she works at a healthcare facility, not in a clinical role, but just
Mhm.
they said, "Oh, well, we're so shorthanded. You keep coming to work until you have symptoms."
Yep.
That's
Profits
how
before
desperate
people. I know. So, but yeah, in this case, Robin, she had the test. We waited online for like an hour, and we were able to find a place in Paramus that did it. So we got it done, took care of it like 2 days ago, I think it was. Oh yeah, it was New Year's Eve because I was all set to actually watch Cobra Kai season 4 and didn't actually start until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
they are.
Yeah. My yearly tradition is like start at like 9 in the morning and just plow through the entire season in a single day. And because of various things, I couldn't start until 2 o'clock. I was very upset. Yeah. Finished the season though. So anyway, yeah. So we're clear on this side as far as we can tell. You and I both know some people right now that may not be that lucky. I'm not going to mention names in this case, but I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I guess
so,
there's some issues going on in this. It's somewhere in the house, so to speak.
yeah, and that's like I said, one person has it and suddenly everybody gets it, which well,
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if I was going to come down with it too, because she started showing a couple of symptoms, which turned to be something else, and I figured I'd have it. And then, of course, that screws everything up with parents, and her mother is 75 years old and a widow, so it's like we're not going to go anywhere near her. In this case, we'll call
Yep.
my father to go over and bring shit over. Um, but yeah, this is not as bad, but boy, everybody and the brother catches it.
Yeah, it's just I actually gave away my tickets for the Seton Hall Villanova game yesterday, and
Mm.
you know how big of a college basketball junkie that is, and how
Oh yeah.
that's Seton Hall's biggest game of the year every year usually. So I even got to a point where I said that this is too much for me.
That actually brings up something as we're starting the second quarter right now after this play. Marion, with the made a fake handoff, throws it over to Dalvin Cook, who's way behind the line of scrimmage, but picks up about a yard and is going to set up a third down at about 4. With regards to press passes, if I can do Mets and or Phillies, which would you want?
Phillies because going to Queens is just too much.
All right, for whatever it's worth, probably easier with the Phillies. I mean, I know you're Met loyal, but
I
um,
am Met loyal, but I live 20 minutes from Citizens Bank Park currently.
yeah, and that's where I think that was going to be the big difference there. Subaru Park, like I said, I can knock that one out pretty easy.
Yeah.
That starts in February, so I got to call Nico over there and get that done. But I'll talk. I for baseball, we can do upwards of 2, Eduardo and myself, and everything stream punk and everything Spanglish. Uh, Marion throws underneath. It's going to be short again, dude. You got to throw past the first down marker. When you're in a prevent defense, you cannot throw the ball for 2 yards when you have 3 defenders in your face. So off goes Minnesota. They're going to punt. God, this is a punt heavy game. It sucks.
I think Mannion
So,
has started a few games before. At least I think he started a few games last year
mhm.
when Cousins was hurt, if I remember correctly. Because
He has a. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go
this
ahead.
is a backup who I've actually heard of and seen before.
Yeah, but he's still a backup, and that's the problem there.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's where the.
there's only about 15 legitimate NFL backs to go around for the whole league, so it's always tough.
Yeah, punt goes out of bounds about the 21-yard line. Colt McCoy, one could argue, was one of the best ones. Giants could have picked him up last year, but decided not to because he wanted too much money. But
Yeah. Didn't the Giants have Colt McCoy last year?
uh-huh. Yep. And they didn't want to pay him, so they went out and got Mike Glennon instead, and that worked out well. But
I
yeah,
mean,
so Sean,
honestly, I don't think it matters for the Giants at this point with
I
that.
know, but it would have given. Yeah, I feel like I almost need to do a Giants rant broadcast. Just call it basically, so I don't know, giant rant. So this is, by the way, his first year there. He's played with the Rams technically for since 2015. 1 year in St. Louis and the rest of the time in LA.
That's right. I think he was a Ram. Was he with the Rams last year? Or?
Yeah, he's been in the Rams for 4 years. Both
Okay,
cities.
that was where I'd seen him before because he was playing. He started in place of Goff a few times. That was
Mhm.
where I'd heard the name before.
Yeah, he's never thrown a touchdown pass in his career. Wow. This is only his third career start. He's been 13 games, well 14 games including this one. Third career start. Wow. Yeah, he's thrown 3 interceptions, but he's never thrown a single touchdown pass. You know what? Let's give him a touchdown pass today. Let's give him something to hang his hat on there. Handoff underneath, picks up about 2 on that.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Ian Book the other day. I felt bad for that
someone
kid.
to do a little better than Ian Book and Garrett Gilbert in the last 2 games I've done.
Oh, I don't know how much you remember from Monday, but you saw my heart go out to that kid every single friggin' play.
Yeah, that was sad. I felt so bad for that kid.
Yeah, it's just his family's in attendance, national stage, big game, and then just down the toilet immediately. So, all right. So, second down and 8. Green Bay's got the ball 35-yard line. Aaron Rodgers got some time, throws underneath, and complete and down. So, yeah, Alan Lazard picks up about 7 on that one.
He gets the first.
Yeah. His name has been quiet today, too. But he's been with that team a long time, too. So, anyway, for you guys, hope you guys are doing well out there. You can find us on Twitter at StreamPunkENT. It's entertainment there. By the way, I forgot to tell you, we're moving that over a little bit. We're merging some stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, we need to catch up offline. Holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For the quick pickup by and still on his feet and down inside the 25-yard line, I guess. Yeah. So Jones with a great pickup there.
Yeah. Yeah. We also had a friend staying with us for a few days because her mom was exposed to COVID. So she said, "Yeah, can I crash with you for a bit?"
Sure. Well, it's kind of weird because you can't really say no to that.
Yeah.
Can you stay with you? No. So, by the way, Jones has 41 yards right now and 5 carries. Aaron Rodgers is a manageable 8 for 12. But Dalvin Cook has been quiet today. Yeah, Aaron Jones, correction now. 6 rushes, 69 yards. Completion over to Devontae Adams, picks up 2 yards. Setting up another potential field goal is the way this is going.
At least now with all the run plays, we're starting to move along in the clock here.
I was just going to say the clock's starting to move a little bit faster, but I'm almost an hour into this broadcast, 57 minutes. Tomorrow we will be back for the NFL game. I'm not going to call it much more than that because honestly, it's the Browns and the Steelers.
Browns and Steelers.
I don't think I need to say more than that shit.
There have been. We did the Tuesday night Eagles and Washington game.
You and Obi did, yeah. But here's the thing. At least that had some emotional tie-in to you guys. It's a local team. This is 2 teams, in the AFC that are out of it. 2 teams that may arguably be playing their last games in their relative cities. With Roethlisberger, I think, being done after the season there.
Yeah, I think that's the intrigue of this game is that it's in all likelihood Ben's last game in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. All things got to come to an end, and you know what? That's got to happen there too. But I also think this is arguably the last couple of games that Baker Mayfield is going to have in Cleveland. And after this play,
I don't see how they upgrade. That's the thing is it's tough for them to upgrade.
It's $18 million though.
But they're on the hook either way for it. They already picked up the option, so it's not like they could save money on the salary cap by cutting.
Yeah, I know, but
they're stuck the same way Carolina's stuck with Darnold.
Darnold, and I was going to say to a degree, Cam Newton, PJ Walker. But
Cam Newton, I thought was only a 1-year deal, so they can.
Yeah, I know, but it was a lot of money for that deal too. So Mason Crosby underneath again. One of the things that I think is hurting him so much, and I'm going to, as soon as we have a commercial break, I'm going to mention this. 36-yarder, and kick is up. Snap was better, the hold was better, and the kick is good. That first one was terrible. That was a full-out Ray Finkel laces out first kick. So now we're sitting on a whopping score of 6-0, going to the commercial right now. I think what's hurting Baker Mayfield, and I've said this before, I'm going to go into a little more detail, I think, on why, is I think those progressive commercials is part of the reason why he's struggling. There's too much movement in those freaking commercials.
I think I'm always leery when any young player on a rookie contract young gets a lot of endorsement deals very quickly because
Mhm.
it usually goes to their head. Look at Odell fell into that category. With
LeBron didn't, though. To his credit, LeBron absolutely 100% did not. He
LeBron
might
did
be
not,
the exception.
but for some reason, football players it seems to affect more than basketball players. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I have to wonder. I mean, if you ever look at the Gronk commercials, he's sitting down, he's standing up, he reads a cue card, he goes home. Baker has different actions, different movement, different sets, different setups. That's an all day, sometimes multi-day commercial.
Yeah,
That
running
takes
up
him
and down
away
the
from what he's doing.
stairs in the stadium.
Yeah, and he could be sitting down, he could be running up and down the stairs. There's a lot of action that's being done, and that action requires setup and time, and sometimes multiple days to do a commercial like that. And yeah, I think it's distracting him. But,
I mean, you certainly have on not having worked in that industry more than I have, and knowing that. So
900 days on set, yeah. And I have a feeling those commercials are absolutely all over the place, because usually commercials are. So what do we got? We still got Christmas commercials, which I find odd when it's January 2nd. How long did you guys put up a tree this year?
Yeah, I have. Well, we actually have two. But we put up mine this year since it's a smaller one. Just put it on an end table. Weren't feeling as. Also, we don't really have a place for the full size tree currently.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have. The tree's still going to be up for a while.
Just fake ones for us. I'm not a real tree fan. Too much.
Same.
Too much work.
That is understandable. By the way, they had a really nice tribute to John Madden before too.
Yeah.
John Madden's voice. I will make the bold prediction that the next Madden football, John Madden will be on the cover.
He absolutely should be.
And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be the smart move in this case, because kids don't necessarily know who Madden is, but they know the franchise.
Yeah. Like at this point, depending on it depends on your age for how you remember John Madden.
Yeah, well, back in the 80s, I remember it was John Madden and Pat Summerall who would do pretty much every Giants game. And if they didn't do a Giants game, I was pissed off. Now we got Jay Feely as the color analyst for today's Giants game. All right, they're highlighting a woman named Bria Froelich. A little bit of a Golden Girl, I guess, probably long time Lambeau Field fan. Gotta love it. Long-time Green Bay Packer fan, freezing your ass off up there. You know what? Respect. I gotta say, I love
it. That's always been a bucket list thing of mine, is to go to a Packers game.
Mm-hmm. Well, should be able to be done day of. Somebody's got to StubHub that thing.
Yeah.
Down goes Mannion with a massive loss there. 13-yard loss.
Vince Lombardi is actually buried in New Jersey in the same cemetery as my grandparents, down in Middletown.
Okay. That's interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, he was from, was from this area.
That is true. Yeah. Jersey represent.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have figured he buried in Green Bay, and he's got his own statue at Lambeau, unsurprisingly.
No, he was actually a resident of one. I don't know if it was Red Bank or one of the other shore towns.
Mm-hmm. Incomplete and setting up a 3rd down and 20. 8:23 left in the first half. For all y'all out there, you can find us on Instagram at Streampunk Sports. Find us on Twitter at Streampunk Entertainment, and like, comment, subscribe. Throw us an insult, throw us a comment, whatever you like. We listen, we talk, we ask questions, we learn from you. Have not actually gotten the people from that kid from England yet today. I wonder if we lost him, but we didn't do a game on Thursday.
And we had that lady from Argentina last week too.
Yes, and thank you for that. I mentioned to Robin that the fact you translated on that, and God bless you for it. 3rd down and 20, picks up about 6 on that. It's going to set up a 4th down and a long one. So another punt. You know what? I'm going to duck out for a minute. I think I'm going
Zimmer's
to.
face looks like Coughlin from the '07 AFC Championship game, where you can tell that he just has no feeling left in his
Oh
face.
my God! Yeah, you see both court. Head coaches there. I think was that Mike Lennon. No. Who's the head coach? Yeah, it's Mike Zimmer. Sorry, I didn't want to insult the guy by calling him Glennon. But yeah, he is beat red there. You see LaFleur's beat red.
Yeah.
And that, like I said, that wind chill is just nasty. So punt back picks him across the 30 down to about the 33-yard line. And once again, Green Bay's got the ball. So I will be right back if that's cool with you. You're in charge.
All right, 7:30. We go to a commercial. Ooh, love those fries. They're showing these tater tots with an obscene amount of cheese on them. Love it. I'm hungry now. So 6-0 Packers. 7:32 left in the second quarter. Going to a commercial. Now we have Jamie Foxx and explosions. And I believe Minnesota is eliminated from the playoff race with a loss today, and if the Packers win, they clinch home field advantage for the NFC. And that is huge. We've only one bye this year instead of normal 2, with the 7th playoff team becoming a regular event, not just a one-time thing. But it looks like we may actually have all of the playoff teams with at least not a losing record.
Thank God for that. Yeah. I figured with the 17-game setup, there probably would have been one or two teams in there with a losing record. At least not this year.
It was looking pretty bad in the NFC for a while.
Dude, Washington almost won the division last year with a 6-10 record.
Yeah.
So I would.
Well, that was why it was hilarious hearing the Giants fans complaining about the Eagles throwing that last game of the season. Like, you were 6-10. You don't deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs.
Yeah, I know.
Stop.
Listen, Rob Stats gave me shit for that one too, and I get it for it. But you sort of just miss a playoff game. It doesn't matter how you get there. Sometimes just getting there is the big thing. And the Giants have a weird habit of actually catching lightning in a bottle. Huh. Donald Logue is actually on SVU right now. That's weird. All right, cool. Anyway, it was funny because I was actually in favor of the Giants making the postseason and winning the division at 6-10, just because of the fact that I needed to have a playoff game. I missed it. I kind of craved it. And he gave me crap for it because it meant sacrificing a draft pick, and I see his point.
Yeah.
But I just missed having a freaking playoff game.
I mean, not like the Giants would do anything with these draft picks anyway.
No, I mean, well, it wasn't. God, that's good. They were smart this year. I mean, they traded with Chicago. Chicago got Fields. I like the move overall, but now they have 2 first-round picks for next year and a high-ranking second, so they can do a lot with it.
Yeah,
especially if the new GM comes in. Yeah.
It depends who they hire as that new GM, because if they just promote from within again, none of it will change.
That was the rant that Brandon and I had the other day, about the fact that they just continue to just do the family business aspect of it. This is a multi-generational ownership.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, about you and I have talked about it, about how it's just they run it like a family business, and they need new blood in that organization.
Yeah, well, it'll happen when Mara sells the team in like 2038. By the way, figured I needed a little bit of a nipper right here because I didn't have any of the vodka that I often use for some of these things when they go on a little long. But second down and 5. So I've got a little Jose Cuervo today, which, by the way, a little orange flavor on this. This thing's amazing. Oof, nice little smooth flavor on this.
Nice.
So rating the bar on this. Sorry, Robin. I'll replace it later. I love this neighborhood. There is so much stuff. There's like within like a 1/10 of a mile. I got a pizza place, a bagel place, a dry cleaner, and a liquor store right down the street. So I can just pop over, grab something, come back if I need to. I got friggin' everything around this place. It's gorgeous. And an Aldi, most important. Anyway, 3rd down and 1, 43-yard line. Quick pass underneath. That's over to Adams, who picks the first down and down inside about the 40-yard line. So they are really moving the ball once again. But so far, they haven't really done much in the way of friggin' points in this game.
Yeah. I love these stats of how well LaFleur has done in his first 3 years coaching the Packers. Where he has one of the highest winning percentages ever. In
I
the
sense a
first.
butt coming now.
Hmm?
I sense a butt coming. Am I wrong?
Well, the but is it doesn't mean anything if they don't win a Super Bowl.
Sure. Well, I was going to say maybe the butt factor was the Aaron Rodgers effect. Could he duplicate that kind of stuff with Jordan Love? Probably not as much, but maybe still.
I mean, it is definitely.
In the middle.
It is already shaping up as one of those things where is it LaFleur or is it Rodgers? Just like we learned, is it Brady or is it Belichick forever?
Yeah. But, I mean, to their credit, I think.
Wow, I didn't realize Adams was that far up the all-time Packers receiving yard list.
I guess I mentioned it before. He's been there with that team for a lot of years now. I also didn't realize he's 4 yards away from 8,000 career yards with the team. So they might do a little something where actually they may, I don't know, call a timeout.
Yeah. Well, I know that Rodgers broke Favre's franchise passing touchdown record last week.
So I was going to say, I don't know if you heard about this, but the Bears did something really cool en route to crushing the Giants here. Robert Quinn set the all-time mark for sacks in a season by the Bears, and Matt Nagy deliberately called a timeout so the crowd can continue to applaud him.
That's a nice thing.
They were already up by like 18 points anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
But I just thought
that was a nice thing to do for the team, but he's still getting fired next week.
Oh, he's still going to get fired. He's gone. Absolutely.
He's still going to get fired.
But I thought it's a great way of being able to give the kid a chance to really bask in the glow a little bit longer. The team can bask in that moment. The fans can bask in that moment and burn a timeout you're not going to need. I think it was a really good human move.
Going for the end zone.
There's your first touchdown.
Ooh, Lazard.
That's Lazard. They're fighting for the ball. That breaks 8,000 yards for that guy, too. Great touchdown. Great jump on that one, too. But now it's 12-0. 6 plays, 66 yards. So, and Aaron Rodgers continues to impress, but a little slow start. But, I mean, again, I stand by the 27-13 that I threw out there. Did you have a prediction on this game or no?
Since I got on after the start, let's say I'm thinking Packers, probably a low-scoring one, probably 20 to. I'm thinking 24-6.
Okay, I could easily see that with the way that again you have a backup quarterback in there, but Lazard actually it should have been pass interference on that too, because Boyd was actually pushing into his stomach on that too. But great eyes.
Yeah.
Oh God, got chill just looking at that call there. So kick is up, and that is good. And now it's the kick was a little close there too, but hey, 13-0.
I haven't looked at the breakdown lately of how many stadiums are turf versus grass anymore in the league. Because I know it seems like there's not very many actual grass fields left.
Not like it used to be, no. Let's see.
Well, I know in a lot of places it's just impractical. Admittedly, I was surprised at some of the new hot weather places with the retractable roofs that having actual grass. But then I thought about it and realized that in a place like, let's say, Vegas or LA, or Arizona, I believe the field temperature, the way that the turf absorbs the heat, I think field level is about 10 degrees hotter, for turf versus grass. I know it's a real bad problem in the Meadowlands in September.
Yeah, but I mean the problem, in this case, it's obviously a lot safer. You can stick something underneath. Right now, I just looked it up. There are 14 stadiums in the NFL and a total of 16 teams that play on turf. For some reason, I thought that number was going to be higher than that.
I thought it was higher.
This is NBC Chicago from about a week and a half ago. 16 teams. MetLife Stadium being an example of one of the stadiums that houses two. But no, it looks like it's about half and half.
Oh, I thought there was only about 10 stadiums left that had grass.
So did I. I figured it was maybe like 8 or 7 even. But no, I guess whatever. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Did you see that? I haven't seen that yet.
No, I haven't seen any of the
Yeah.
new ones.
On digital. All right, Apple TV, Xfinity, Prime Video. Okay, Prime Video, we can do that. Cool. We can check it out that way. Good. Reboot season. Already caught The Matrix. So
Prime is annoying though, in how they like you'll think you have it, and then you go to what like, oh, this looks good, and then it's something you have to pay extra for.
that's the thing about Amazon. Yeah, they kind of bait and switch it that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. You know, they might be doing that in this case too. I'm curious. I mean, I heard it's decent, but I didn't hear like it's going to be earth shattering. You know, so it's it's popcorn. It's a popcorn film, and that's about the extent of it. But I still haven't seen that. I still haven't seen Fast and the Furious 9 yet, the one where they go out into space.
That's a franchise I just never got into.
I was late to the game. I saw the first 8 in order, never having seen any of them. And you watch what's happening in the first couple, and you know this shit's just going to get weirder and weirder, and it does. You know, by the 7th one, they drop cars out of planes because the plot requires it. And when you realize that in that moment, you're like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" And they legit did.
Has that many movies, you can tell that they're just running out of ideas. The Police Academy series was the same way, where once you got past the third one, each one got past the third or fourth one, each one got exponentially worse.
Now, was that movie where Michael Winslow did the sound effects?
Yes,
you know, and that was kind of his whole big thing right there. It's funny. I saw him in stand up once. He kind of hates doing the sound effects. He actually wants to be known more for his stand up ability than he does for the actual sound effects aspect of it, which made him all that bank.
Yet he went on America's Got Talent this year, which I don't understand how professionals can be on America's Got Talent. But since I thought the whole point of the show was to find amateur talent, but that's the whole other thing.
Dude, we were a bunch of freaking unknowns. You know, arguably one of the biggest people that went nowhere on AGT. And give him credit. I mentioned to him, Leroy Patterson. He just started with AEW wrestling. He was on there. He came from the same episode of AGT that I did. And we were, like I said, we were unknown schlubs. You know, you had the guy that was drinking, that, you know, shot milk out of his eye. You had this turtle that was afraid to eat a strawberry because the turtle was supposed to do these tricks and never did. That's what the show is. Not bringing in people that are like, oh shit, it's that guy. And I'm just like, where the hell did that conversation end up happening? But yeah, I'm going to talk to Leroy. I got to talk to Leroy Patterson because I want to have him on Sports Den. Talk wrestling, AEW, and AGT, and literally dropping himself onto a giant pile of thumbtacks half naked. So Mannion's underneath, and he is going to get sacked yet again, bringing up a 4th down. And Green Bay will get the ball back with 2 minutes left, roughly, and 3 timeouts. Oh, this is getting ugly very quickly. So
have they have they even gotten a first down yet?
I believe they did. They got one.
Yeah, the Vikings did get one.
Yeah. So this is slowly starting to pull away, especially if they're able to do something here. Let's see. Game stats. We'll put you here. 1.
And this one's a much better one.
Yes, it is.
Bunt field, fair caught it around the 36.
Yeah, you want to take a shot at since we're on the same time, pretty much. Do you want to roll with the play-by-play for a bit? I'm cool with it. Whatever you want to do.
I'll try it. I'm
for it.
I'm a little on the tired side though, so apologies in advance.
I cold drank what leftover coffee that we had upstairs, and I got, like I said, an aperitif. Go for it, sir. It's all yours.
Alrighty. And we got 2:08 left, so we're coming up on 2-minute warning, probably after one play. We got Rodgers in the shotgun, 5 wide. Takes a snap, passes down the middle. Looked like somebody got it at the line of scrimmage. Adams catches it anyway. Goes for about 18, I believe. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning.
Nice. Nicely done. 5 wide was a good touch. I didn't think of that.
Mhm.
So, yeah, you're right. That ball
Yeah,
did get tipped.
55 did get a piece of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good eyes though. Be able to catch that. You can see the breath coming right out of
Yeah.
See, like I said,
He looked like Triple H, with the spray up in the air. Except it was the just seeing your breath from the cold.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
See that?
even this,
See
go ahead.
this dumpster? This is what I've been playing like.
Dude, they have 5 different. They've had 5 different setups in this commercial. Different angles, granted, the same, but they've had 5 different setups, and each one of those takes a lot of time to basically set up marks and shit. Yeah, he burned bare minimum one full day on that.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. So like I said, that's why he's struggling. So Browns fans, cancel your progressive. You're really pissed off. So let me change something here. Packers are now at 9 first downs. The fuck did I? Oh, who the hell is
Yeah.
open? Oh,
Vikings
Sin
had
too.
1 first down. Wow.
Yeah, one first down. I think they got like 20. Yeah, they've had 28 total yards. Mannion has had 26 yards passing overall, but he's been sacked several times too. So he's been sacked twice for a total of 15 yards.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was Reggie Bush. Interesting that he's doing.
Oh, dude, that's a name from the past.
Yeah, I said that looks like Reggie Bush. That can't be. Why would he be doing? Yes, it is. Wow. Okay.
You know what? Take the money. Big bank on a commercial like that.
Mm-hmm.
He had a career that I think a lot of people expected more of than they got.
He had a solid career. Just he had so much hype coming into the league that it ended up being disappointment compared to what were, in retrospect, unrealistic expectations.
Mm-hmm. That is true. It was a pretty high bar for him, but at the end, he didn't live up to the rep. A lot of players don't, though.
Yeah,
I think it's going to
happen. People thought. They were fitting him for a yellow jacket for Canton before he even played in his first game.
Yeah.
And while he didn't have a Hall of Fame career by any means, he still had a solid career and hung around the league for a while.
So, anyway, you go for it, sir.
Yeah, especially for a running back. Rodgers out of the shotgun again. You have short one down the right, and was that caught? Yes.
Caught and fell twice.
Got up and ran 6 yards and went down again. Sets up about 2nd and 3, I believe.
So 1:34 left in the first half. Clock's moving faster now, thankfully.
2nd and 2, 1:30 left. Rodgers out of the shotgun again. Takes a step, another quick out to the right. Caught just at the first down marker. Haven't seen a signal, and Boyd from the Vikings is slow to get up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things you don't need right now is Green Bay is starting to make things happen on offense.
Yeah, and I believe it's the Packers took a timeout.
Makes sense. They've got 3.
Yeah.
So
and the NFL they actually have not announced a schedule for next week's games yet. Wonder what they're going to go with for the Sunday night game, which is usually a winner. They usually try and pick whatever is a win and you're in playoff situation or teams playing each other. Whoever wins gets a division title. I haven't even looked at the matchups to see who that might be.
The drama of the game there, yeah. Well, it's funny because Joe Buck was saying that before. He's like, this is the schedule for next week between the the 3 networks. We have no idea what game we're doing or where we're going.
Yeah, I guess they'll decide either tonight or tomorrow morning, which games are when. I would like to see them do something similar to soccer or to Major League Baseball, where you have all the final games at the same time.
Yeah.
They would never do that. I know that would never happen in the NFL because you have 3 TV windows that you need to satisfy. But just I think that would be that would be much crazier to watch, and would actually bring more excitement to the last week of the season, in which
It
half
totally
teams
would.
aren't even trying.
And then if you have something like NFL Network where you've got 10 or 15 different, games that you can flip through simultaneously.
Yeah. Except you maybe pick out that one primetime game and then have all the other games at the same time. That would be
Completion of the top
in
of
my
Jones.
perfect world, but I know because of TV obligations that will probably never happen.
Let's take a look.
The only way I think that would happen would be if there was some sort of controversy of a team throwing a game, to get a more favorable matchup, which that doesn't really happen in the NFL like it does in other sports.
You know what? There's not a whole lot of solid games on the schedule right here.
That was what I was thinking.
Wow.
I remember looking at it the first time, and any of the matchups I could think of off the top of my head, I said none of these are all that good.
We got 49ers.
What about the AFC West? What is that matchup?
Chiefs Broncos. They got that one.
And touchdown Adams for the Packers.
Oh wow! And they are officially starting to run away with this one. Adams on my fantasy team too. Yeah. Titans, Texans,
64 yards.
Chiefs, Broncos, but the Broncos aren't in it anymore.
I didn't know if the Chiefs and Chargers. I thought if the Chiefs and Chargers were playing each other, that might be a good one, but they aren't.
49ers and Rams would arguably be the top one here, or I would say Cowboys, Eagles. I think that's probably your biggest one right there. That game right there
probably gets it by default, only because I don't. Let's see. Let me pull this up here. Week 18.
Kick is up, and it's good. And now very quickly, it is now Green Bay 20, Minnesota Goose Egg. 105 left. So Minnesota's going to have to do something to at least get some points on the board for second half.
Jets, Bills, Washington, and the Giants.
Bengals, Browns, Saints, Falcons.
Packers, Lions, Patriots, Dolphins, Bears, Vikings, Cowboys, Eagles, Bucks, Panthers, Colts, Jags. Oh, these are rough.
Yeah.
Steelers, Ravens, Titans, Texans, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. Maybe Chargers, Raiders. That could
maybe heavy, maybe though. I don't know. I think
but also I think that could come down to whoever wins that gets the final wild card spot, and whoever loses is probably out.
Probably. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to Cowboys, Eagles, or
Niners, Rams.
I think Cowboys, Eagles will be the pick though, because you got America's team and also a devoted Philadelphia fan base.
Yeah, you have Niners, Rams. You have Seahawks, Cardinals. I'm thinking probably either Chargers, Raiders, or Cowboys, Eagles.
And suddenly that Cowboys-Eagles game becomes very, very, very important.
Yeah. I don't know what the seeding scenarios are as far as tiebreakers for the division winners for the playoff seeding.
Well, right now they're solidly in the fourth spot.
Yeah.
So at 11-5, they're still a game behind. The Raiders. I'm sorry.
The only thing with Cowboys Eagles is that by that point it might be locked in. Is that by the time that game starts, both teams could be locked into their positions already.
Could very well be,
depending on what other teams do that on the day.
Let's see. NFL wildcard playoff picture. NFL.com is actually really, really good with that.
Oh, NFL.com, they'll list everything, but then the networks usually pick the important ones from that. But they go through every single scenario of if a train leaves Philly at 60 miles an hour, and three teams tie, before.
What did Jalen Hurts have for lunch?
And there's a plus 30 point differential. Then
flag of the play on that one. Yeah, Von Miller.
If Cowboys have a higher than a plus 40 point differential on games played on a full moon
Yeah, see, for the Eagles, it's simple. Win and they're in.
Yeah.
It could be a little more complicated
There is still
Yeah,
a
the only
chance for
problem.
them to back into a spot depending on what other teams do.
Yeah, right now the Saints are their biggest competition, so it's a simple win and they're in, or if the Saints lose or tie, then they're in also. So 3rd down and 4, throw over the top and complete. So picks up the first down, but cannot get out of bounds in time. They're going to have to burn a timeout here, I think, and they do.
And they have Minnesota has all 3 timeouts, so they have timeouts to burn. But
it's not a factor in this.
There's their second first down of the day.
Good job, team. So I have to change that. Actually, you know what? So right now the first downs are 13-2. But again, that team has got to get something going here before the end of the first half. And helps to actually spell it right though. Actually, I had a glitch on that the other day where I had something as a typo for like 20 minutes and before I realized it.
Up a little bit. It's up to 10 degrees.
Ooh, that's what a 20% raise in temperature.
Yeah. Or maybe that one thermometer is off. I don't
know. Dude. I mean, Minnesota is used to it outside, but not inside. They're not.
Well, Minnesota plays in a dome, so they're not even used to playing by themselves.
But they're at least used to it when they walk around the city. So they can at least have some familiarity there. It's not like playing in Tampa or Atlanta or Carolina or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tampa was legendary for not being able to win in cold weather, where I think it was anything under 40 degrees. They didn't win a single game until the past 10 years or so.
And that's where I think, you see what happened last year. I think if those 2 teams play each other 10 times, then I would say Green Bay probably wins 8 of them in the same circumstance. But again, it was that magic of the moment that allowed Tampa to win that game.
Although I don't while you can never count out Tom Brady, I do agree that I don't think that it would. They have shirts on. Okay. Did we? Are we still keeping the shirtless guy count? I forget where we were on that.
I was at 3. I haven't seen any, but I may have missed some. I'm sorry if I did. So, 2nd down and 8, 28-yard line. You want to roll with it?
All right. Mannion sitting up out of the shotgun, another 5 wide. Sandwich pass down to the left and complete to the Packers' 45-yard line and out of bounds.
So
stops the clock at 22 seconds.
Mannion's sporting a nice mustache from the 80s.
Down to 1 timeout left. Even if they can just get far enough for a field goal, at least get some points on the board, get something before halftime, that should help.
Yeah. And right now they've been sluggish, but they're starting to turn something around here. Is it enough? I would say probably it's not going to be. But again, you at least go in the locker room feeling like you've accomplished something. I mean, Mannion is 9 for 13, 57 yards now. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mannion setting up out of the shotgun again. Back to pass, lots of time in the pocket, and he breaks free of the rush and is able to run for the first down. Takes a hard hit.
Takes a big hit, yeah. And I believe they just burned their final timeout, too.
That might be enough for field goal, for just getting into field goal range.
I think it's close enough. I mean, they're about the 35-yard line, and a 52, 53-yarder is not what it used to be.
Yeah, but it's still Green Bay, and it's windy and 10 degrees out.
Yeah. The wind's about 12,
it's like trying to kick
a
rock when it's that cold.
Yeah, well, wind's about 10 degrees, I think, right now. So it is affecting the cold more on the field than it is actually, as far as the kick itself goes. But the problem is that ball is heavier.
Yeah.
It's colder. And that's where I think some of the players have had a hard time trying to catch the ball today, just because of the fact that it hits the hands a lot harder than it normally would.
Yeah. They're showing Zadarius Smith on the sideline with some hella bling. And
I was going to say, that's
I know they call it ice, but that really must feel cold around his neck.
Yeah.
So, Mannion back to pass and throws it away.
So 9 seconds left. Do you try and throw one more? I would say probably why not. At least try one more play.
Try one more quick out to the sideline, see if you can get it a little closer.
Yeah. And then at that point, just accept it and try to kick the field goal, get 3. I believe Minnesota gets the ball to start the second half, too.
And now my antenna signal's glitching out.
Oh, all right. So I'll roll with this one if you want me to. So, all right. Second down and 10. 9 seconds left in the first half. Slow-moving first half. It's an hour and 35 minutes in at this point. They are at the Green Bay 33-yard line, and possibly another timeout is called.
I think Green Bay just called a timeout.
Yeah, probably. I'll discuss this a little bit here. Sean Mannion with sporting a little bit of like a weird like Matt Dillon and something about Mary style mustache there today.
No, the one he just reminded me of. What the heck is the dude's name? Who's I don't know if you've ever seen the Smosh Try Not to Laugh videos.
I have seen them. Yes.
There's this one guy that they have on, and he never laughs, and that's I'm trying to remember his name, but it was a name that was shared with a sports person, but like I'm just drawing a blank on his name. Gotta go.
Yeah, look, if you want to look it up, I'll do this. Second down and 10.
I'll just run downstairs I'll run downstairs and ask Unique.
Go for it. So probably the last play before they try and kick that field goal. Snap back, throws it over the top, down the sidelines, and out of play. But it burns 4 seconds off the clock and sends out the field goal unit for about a 50-yarder. It will be debilitating if they don't get the field goal here, but you're right. With the weather being what it is.
51-yarder, longest field goal at Lambeau in January. Good luck.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lawrence Tyne one in 2007.
The Giants went to the field goal.
That was 47 yards.
Yeah.
So this would be the longest field goal in January in the history of Lambeau Field. Oh, dude. And because we need more cold, they're actually icing the kicker with another timeout. Their final timeout for the first half. But again, I think pregame long in this direction was
48 yards.
And it would be good from 51. So still strong turnout.
Too much wind. Looking at the windsocks on the goalposts, doesn't appear to be that much wind, but it's brutal in this cold.
Estimated about 10 degrees, which wasn't bad, but the fans are layered up pretty well. Good turnout tonight too, but it's Green Bay. What do you expect?
It's Wisconsin. They live for this out there.
Oh my God! Well, really, if you think about it, it's one of the only sports that they've got. I mean, they got Green Bay doesn't really have much else. So 51-yarder, snap, kick underway, and that is close but good enough.
Got it.
Not the prettiest kick ever, not the the most surefire thing, but you know what? 3 points is 3 points, and
the Vikings do get this.
So they get something to go into halftime with, and ironically sets the mark for the longest field goal in the history of Lambeau Field in the month of January. So, all right, cool. So we are now at halftime at this point. Drop us a question, thought, ideas, comments, complaints, whatever you like. We want to hear it. I may pop.
What the heck kind of suit combo is Tony Dungy wearing?
That's a very strange polka dot setup there, yeah.
Yeah.
Or plaid, rather, I should say. Bengals run the north. Let's see, was that Joe Burrow with a really bad TikTok dance there.
They did clinch a division today, right?
They did, yeah. They actually won 34-31 at home against Kansas City. Kansas City blew a 17 or 14-point lead in the second half. So give them credit on that. Yeah, we got something with Jimmy Fallon. I don't know what. By the way, thank you for letting me know about the NYCFC thing the other day. Mm-hmm. NYCFC being notified at time, being broadcast at Times Square, but not on ABC because they were just like, we're going to go to news instead and talk to you about all the dead people in the neighborhood. So I had no idea that live stream had like 250,000 people watching it. Ooh.
Well, also, if you think about it, for anybody who's a cord cutter, that's the only way to watch those type of festivities. Sure. So, that's why Nielsen ratings are telling us are less and less relevant with each passing year.
Sure. Well, they have something now where they have like what they call 4-tablet or 4-device. So it's like, TV, phone, tablet, laptop, I think is what they call a 4-device Nielsen rating now. It's a little more, it takes a little longer to get those numbers, but they're starting to work in that direction because most people, myself included, typically don't watch things on television.
Yeah.
But I mean, but Times Square performances are known world renowned when it comes to New Year's. So the 250,000 people watching at that moment doesn't surprise me much.
I thought it was interesting how because of the YouTube live streams, we actually watched a few different ones, in a row. The one we watched live was the Miami Miley Cyrus and Pete Davidson one, and in which Pete Davidson was actually in the middle of a very eloquent toast for Betty White, while also trying to kill time waiting for Miley to finish her diva change. And she busts out before midnight and interrupts Pete Davidson's Betty White toast, so they can do the countdown. It was just one of those things where, like, we noticed it watching it, like, Miley Cyrus just interrupted the Betty White toast. What the hell?
They had something where I was watching something with Ciara. Because I think Ryan Seacrest went out west a bunch of times with what they had as well, and they had some kind of a thing like songs, dance styles through the decades. So it had disco and it had like stuff from the 80s and the 90s. And they kept going over to Ciara, but not to the backup dancers that were actually doing it. Until I guess somebody somewhere was like, dude, move over, join them, dance with them. Because it was like 2 seconds on the actual people doing the dance. And then it was like 8 seconds of watching Ciara actually respond to them. So you're not actually watching the stuff itself. And then somebody somewhere like, dude, move over, go.
Yeah. And just the whole awkwardness of all the Times Square stuff and how they went right to swearing in Eric Adams as the new mayor right after the ball drop.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I forgot it was January 1st for him for that.
I guess they decided it was better to do that than to have a separate thing at City Hall, in a few hours.
You know what? They wanted to do it, fine, make it official. But yeah, I forgot he's officially the new mayor now too, which is a little weird. Because I've been used to de Blasio being there, so now it's Mayor Adams. It was always going to be Mayor Adams. There's no way that Curtis Lee was going to have a shot, actually, and de Blasio didn't even run anyway, so.
Yeah, and just the way that everybody shuffled, it was like everybody was quickly trying to get out of there as quickly as possible and as quietly as possible. Like everybody's looking around, and all the crowd shots. It seemed like half the people were looking around like, "Oh, I made a huge mistake coming out here with with these COVID numbers and this many people."
Well, speaking of, LL Cool J was supposed to perform, but he got COVID and had to cancel last minute. That's why I think ABC went to like BTS, the K-pop band from last year, and just replayed that performance here. Because I think they couldn't find anybody, I guess, to fill the spot, or I don't know what happened, but it was just really odd.
Several networks, I think, were splicing in footage from previous years because I forget who it was. We were talking with a friend, and they mentioned about how they saw Anderson Cooper and what's his face?
Andy Cohen.
Andy Cohen. It was Anderson Cooper and Andy Cohen that they were just BSing and taking shots at tequila and getting more and more hammered, which I know that happened in previous year, like maybe not last year, the year before. I believe that happened. So I don't know if they did it again or if they were just showing a clip from 2 years ago.
I would not be surprised in the least that they took a couple of shots just to loosen themselves up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those things. I don't care where you are, what level you're at. You are under such a huge microscope that I think it could actually get into your head at least a little bit. And you want to be able to just be a little loose. Maybe you take a little shot from the side, just to be able to keep the system lighter. I'm not talking like go full out, plastered, go full like Bob Hoskins in or John Leguizamo in Super Mario Brothers 1, or the only one. But just enough, like I said, to kind of take the edge off and keep you loose. Three-time Olympic medalist Elena Moon. Wins two women bobsled. Yeah, the Winter Olympics started in about a month.
It's so strange with the Olympics coming up again during this.
Yeah.
Less than 6 months. 6 months after the last one.
Were you old enough to remember when that used to happen regularly?
Oh, when the Winter Olympics and Summer Olympics were in the same year.
Or basically, yeah, just months apart.
Yeah, that was the first Winter Olympics I remember watching was '94, so that was right when they switched.
Okay.
Because I
Yeah,
remember
because I remember.
Barcelona, and then '94, which was Lillehammer, I think.
Yes, I believe Norway.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, because they had. Because they used to be running every 4 years and had those two side by side a few months apart, and then moved over to every 2 years, which I prefer personally.
yeah. Well, also the Winter Olympics, I think, got to be too much for the Winter Olympics were a small event, much smaller event for so many years, but even they got too big to do them all in the same year, so they had to stagger it.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, it is kind of the smaller of the two Olympics anyway. If it doesn't involve ice or snow, it's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Obi had the proposal of moving basketball to the Winter Olympics because basketball is typically played in the winter anyway.
You see what
Curious
happens
to get
with
your
the
thoughts on
NHL.
that.
Actually, I think it should be the other way, where I think that they should move hockey to the Summer Olympics, because then
Ooh,
the main reason is that you would need to. It's hard enough. The NHL now, for the second Olympic cycle in a row, is refusing to let NHL players go to the
that is
Olympics.
true. That is true.
And there's a few players who were very upset by that. This year with COVID, it makes sense. Absolutely, makes sense.
100%. Yeah.
And China has some ridiculous quarantine rules where I think you would need to be isolated there for 5 weeks. I think I read if you tested positive. 5 weeks locked in a hotel room in China. Good luck with that.
Yeah. 5 weeks is a hell of a lot. Huh? But I mean, I guess also when you think about how many people are over there and what the population is per square kilometer, it's not as surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got a nice little
Yeah, but
tribute
the
to
NBA would
John
never
Wall.
shut down in the middle of the season for their players to go to the Olympics.
Yeah. But also makes you wonder a little bit if baseball comes back, is this going to be a problem for baseball as well?
Baseball has a lot bigger problems they need to deal with.
That's what I'm saying. If they come back,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little chaotic right now with everything that's going on in Major League Baseball, and who knows when and if. I mean, I haven't heard much from them.
They haven't even
As far
spoken. They're not even
yeah, right.
talking to each other.
And maybe they'll start tomorrow with the Monday of the new year, maybe. But
Yeah,
I mean, pitchers and catchers are supposed to report in about 5 to 6 weeks. So
I don't think the season starts on time.
I don't believe it does either. But that's going to be a huge nail in the coffin because people have already lost interest anyway, and would rather sit there and play a game on their cell phone, whatever game they want to download, than watch it. I mean, hell, I was at Yankee games last year and I was bored at the games themselves.
I still believe wholeheartedly that the owners are coordinating that to try and stick it to the players.
Mm-hmm.
B, because they want to try and bankrupt Sinclair so they can get the rights back for the from the regional sports networks. They want to try and bankrupt the Sinclair Bally's regional sports networks, which own the rights currently for about 10 or 12 teams, all in small markets. So the league wants to try and get because the league is kind of stuck in these exclusive RSN deals, the regional sports networks, and and they're going to with the evolution of television and of the cable model, in the age of cord cutting, and now people who never even had a cord to begin with, that the RSN model just doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing it now you're seeing it now in the in our area where Comcast and MSG the contract.
I was going to ask if you knew about that. Yeah.
So, but this is what it. But that is a microcosm for what is going to happen with every cable system and every regional sports network around the country, because because MSG or whatever other regional sports network is saying we want X per subscriber,
Mhm.
in these deals, and Comcast is saying no, we don't get enough ratings or can sell enough. We can't sell enough ad space to justify that price, and the ratings aren't high enough to move the needle. So buy.
Yeah. Well, see that what's going to happen now is not only commercials increasing, but if you've noticed, commercials are now advertising other products within their own commercials. So, I mean, Liberty Mutual is promoting Spider-Man, for example. You have that one commercial, whatever it is, for whatever phone where it's got, either Wonder Woman or Matrix, I think was one of them too. So commercials are now advertising other things. It's almost like Inception level commercial. And that's the future right there. When I was watching Jeopardy, go ahead.
Minority Report is still a movie about
Oh God,
that
that when he walks through
always
the mall.
that
Dude, we laughed at that scene in 2002 when we saw that mall scene where it's like, hey, Tom, Tom Cruise, you look like you could use a fresh Budweiser. I saw that you were looking at it. It's like we laughed at it then, but you're like, oh my God, that's not too far
yeah,
off
you
now.
go back and watch that now, it's a little scary how much of that has come true.
But here's the thing. Philip K. Dick is one of my favorite writers of all time. He wrote that. He wrote the Blade Runner. Total Recall was his. All these movies that were well known and appreciated. Man in the High Castle. These were all things that he wrote because he saw things in a certain way. The guy was messed up, but he saw things in a certain way that you're like, oh my God, it's pretty damn accurate.
I mean, sci-fi writers have to be screwed up in a way
they are, yeah.
A lot of creative people usually
Yeah.
are. In order,
and like I said, he was one of my favorite writers of this stuff. So like I said, the ideas that he had out there and the stuff that he wrote about, Minority Report completely doesn't surprise me at all that it came from his idea. I mean, the ending was better than what than Spielberg had. I forget what the ending was, but it was typically the endings that they do are darker than the ones in the movies. And it was funny because you look at that, like I said, that's what you laugh at it then, but you're like, that's pretty friggin' accurate because this bastard is listening all the time. Yeah. If I put in something right now, it will autofill based on that. Yeah.
I'm sure that just from the stuff that we talk about on our streams, I'm sure the ad suggestions are interesting.
You do a YouTube channel called Uplifting Stories in a Minute where you're researching various things on whatever topic. It autofills that shit too. But it's really kind of funny. But I had something, Robin and I were having a conversation. We saw a commercial about erectile dysfunction and we talked about it as a joke. Guess what started? I started getting ads on Facebook for it. Yeah,
especially as a male of a certain age, that's going to get worse for you. You're going to be getting more and more ads on that.
Scott, you're 46 years old. Do you know what happens to your genitalia at that age? Well, we can help. Well, I think you know what it was. I saw there was an ad on casting networks for a commercial that had to have people between 30 and 55 years old, men who are willing to talk about the problems with erectile dysfunction in a commercial. Take a guess how much they were paying for that.
Quite a bit. I think they pay quite a bit for those commercials because you don't want to be known as, limp dick dude.
As limp dick dude as Dalvin Cook takes the first run play for out of yard. No, they were actually paying $160. I actually saved it. I usually delete every one. I saved that bastard.
$160?
Yeah. Literally $160 on that. And you have to be okay talking about ED on camera. And for some kind of a commercial for, I don't even know what.
I'd heard that the drug company commercials paid better, for that. Like, just
typically they do. Not in this case.
Not this one apparently.
No,
because yes, everybody knows it's paid actors, but you still don't want to. It's still tough to go on TV and say, and be the herpes person, or for whatever condition.
There is a weight loss drug that's going to be coming out that's advertising something to a well-known song that you recognize it, because a lot of them use songs like that. That commercial paid $6,000. So $6,000 versus 160 surprised me a little bit. So
yeah, just a bit of a difference.
So 3rd down and 8.
Yeah.
Manning's back again, throws over the top and overthrown, but he had him open. So
overthrown by about 5 yards.
Yeah. So 4th down and 8, and immediately they're getting the ball back. So there.
Yeah.
That one. I don't know what the name. Yeah, that one paid $6,000. Yeah, I when it comes out eventually, they only shot it like a month or two ago. But 4th down and 8.
13, I know somebody where that movie is one of her favorite movies, so that'll be interesting.
I was in the rafters for a lot of that. Me, Rich Haas, and a few other people. We did like a dozen plus days in that. The first time I heard that song, I freaking wept. I really did. So.
Oh, you worked on that movie?
Yeah, back in 2017. I had just moved here, actually. It was kind of funny. So there was a day where I moved out of Waldwick, went to set, and then moved here for my first time that night. So, but yeah, we did. I did. It got me my health insurance that year, too, because we had a lot of long-ass days on that thing. Smoky days, but damn, it was cool.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a late hit.
Late hit out of bounds. And also shoulder into unnecessary roughness. Oh.
Shoulder into the knee, out of bounds.
I think it hit him more on the quad, but damn, that was really close to the knee. That could have been really brutal. But a stupid penalty nonetheless. All right, back to a commercial right now. We got a little do. So we got a little Spider-Man going on, which is now advertising. I don't know, is that Hyundai? So like I said, they're cross-promoting on this.
Yeah, Spider-Man and
Spider-Man
and Hyundai. Okay.
Yeah. And who knows? They'll have me have a few more of those. Can we spoil Spider-Man No Way Home yet or no? It's too early?
I fell so far behind on all the comic book movies I just gave up.
Well, I'm going to hold on it, but suffice it to say, I think it could theoretically open up a few more Where Are They Now movies. I'll leave it at that. We already covered this on Tales from the Film Set. We did a full-out spoiler review right after that movie aired. We did a full-out spoiler review of Matrix Resurrections, and we will do a full-out spoiler review on Tuesday of Cobra Kai. Because all of us have seen it at this point, all of us have our opinions, and yep, season 5 has already been filmed. It's wrapped and should be coming out, I'm theorizing, late summer. Verizon, the official 5G network of the NFL.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're right about how these commercials are. That's about the most Gronk has done in one of these commercials yet.
But if you notice, though, is when he was talking, the other guy wasn't on camera. So they set him up with a specific shot, maybe put a cue card or something, a scroller or something. So he just had to sit there, say it, and react, but he didn't have to memorize any lines. You know, the only time the two of them were on camera was when he drank something and got up.
Gronk show up. Gronk sit down. Gronk read.
Exactly.
Gronk get paid.
Gronk mad. But yeah, like I said, his commercials are simple, to the point, bam, in, done. You know, that Baker Mayfield one had 5 different locations out throughout the stadium there. Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, they just said basically.
I always thought of Gronk like Mongo from Blazing Saddles.
Yes. Alex Karras. The guy, the dad on Webster, by the way, later on.
Yes.
Mongo just pawned in Game of Life. 1st down and 10. They are driving. They're inside. They're about the 37-yard line now.
Yeah.
So,
Alex Karras, along with Paul Hornung, who were suspended for an entire season in the, due to gambling in 1963, I believe, which that would be the equivalent of like Aaron Rodgers and J.J. Watt being suspended. You know, like that was like they were at the top of their game, and they were both suspended for an entire season for gambling.
Which is funny.
Now we've gone from that to DraftKings being all over the place.
Dude, oh my God, there's some Barstool Sports has one now too. But DraftKings got it. FanDuel. I remember the other day I saw three straight commercials back to back to back for three different gambling apps.
I mean, the NFL may have, and all sports may have lost some casual fans, particularly with the pandemic and people not being into it as much. But they're absolutely gaining hardcore fans in gambling. All the sports are.
You hit that emotional tie, but like I said, how much money are people losing is my question.
And you add that to being able to harass players directly via social media, and it's an ugly combination.
That's a good point.
And I imagine also part of a factor of all of the rise in incidents of terrible fan behavior at games. Like
so
in the
you're
NBA
saying
playoffs last year.
Yeah, so if somebody misses an easy touchdown and it costs somebody $200, $500, $1,000, oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. If you're strong enough to do it, you're
popcorn dumped on them in Philly.
Well, I wonder if some of these people are actually, using their mortgage money on this. Yeah. Anyway, I got to be careful talking about this kind of stuff that they end up contacting us and be like, "We're giving you money." So.
Oh, certainly. Not saying it's a bad that's a bad thing. We will hit us up.
Exactly. So, well, I need to get a couple things done, but we can run advertising on this. Ads have been periodically running on this throughout the show, but I just need to get a little bit more organized in how we actually run that thing. Obi took me through it last week, but I need a specific login I don't have. All right, so possible hold there. Aaron Rodgers does take a hit on this one, though.
Rodgers doesn't
11:46 left. Go ahead. 11:46 left in the third quarter. Again, third quarter is like the first quarter, where it's slow as crap. Second down and 10, handoff. So at least that'll keep the clock moving.
It's a good 8 yards there.
Yeah. I would say that Seattle had a good, very possible final win for final game at home for either Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. I think it's possible, at least bare minimum, one of them is going to be done out of there next year. Possibly
Wilson's
both of them
gone for sure. Carroll might be.
I can see Carroll maybe in Chicago, or take a year off and go back to college.
I don't think another NFL team would hire him. I think Russell Wilson goes to Chicago, maybe. Or wait, who was the list of 3 teams? There was a list of like 3 teams that he would supposedly waive his no trade clause for. The Giants was one of them. I forget who the other 2 were.
Pittsburgh, maybe?
No. Denver, possibly?
Let's see. Russell Wilson, no. Trade clause. Giants, Saints, and Broncos.
Okay.
Saints, I don't know. I mean, run over the middle, picks up about 7 on that one. Sets up a second down. Minnesota defense is starting to slow down. They're starting to struggle a little bit on the offensive line. So Green Bay can start running the clock out as they need to if they get the touchdown here. But Saints, I don't think so. Giants, unlikely, sadly. But Denver could be possible. It is out of conference. So that might be a little bit different.
It'd be easier to work out a trade with the Broncos. Saints, the Giants don't have the assets to give up in a trade.
They also don't have the cap space either.
They don't have the cap space, and they don't have the assets that Seattle would want. And my tennis ball drops out right as they score a touchdown.
They did get the touchdown at least, like you said. So Dylan picks up another one. They're up 26-3. They could, depending on how this goes, start burning that clock out a little bit more at this point. Again, they win this game, they clinch home field throughout the playoffs. And plus, they would also coast. They can burn next week's game if they want to.
Yeah.
I could almost see Jordan Love getting a shot at that one just to be able to give him some practice.
I could see that. And showing that replay, and yeah, he did break the plane.
Yeah. I thought his knee was down at one point, but no, it wasn't. Right there, I thought it was, but all right. So Green Bay is now up 26-3. Minnesota has not been able to do diddly and or squat today. Set up for the extra point. What's the numbers? Yeah. Minnesota has only 72 yards to Green Bay's 333. This is what we expected. Kick is up and slices it makes it by a layer of paint, but still counts just the same. But yeah,
speaking passing yard paint,
yeah, a little bit in that helmet.
Plenty of that and half of the goal line stuck in dude's helmet.
Dude, really. But Mannion right now, as the backup quarterback, is 10 for 17 for only 58 yards. But he's also been sacked twice so far, too. Minnesota has punted the ball 5 times. They've averaged 2.6 yards a play to Green Bay's 7.6. Again, all of this should not surprise anybody right here.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more Dalvin Cook.
I don't think they were able to get that running game going the way they wanted to.
I think the Packers are just stacking the ball, but it's easy when you're playing a team with playing against the backup quarterbacks. You just stack 8 in the box and dare them to throw and beat you. And Mannion so far has not.
Yeah, right now Cook has 8 rushes for only 18 yards and 2 catches for a single yard. So he's not making anything happen right now, which is forcing Mannion to have to throw the ball, and he's not getting it done. Again, backup quarterback. Losing Kirk Cousins set a different tone from this game right from the onset. This could end up 41, even like 41-10 could be the final in this one. But I think at this point, I think you'll agree with me, Green Bay is probably just going to start working on burning this clock and just getting this game over with.
Yeah, I mean, they might hit the over, for the 42.5, but
yeah, they need another 13 points on that, assuming that Minnesota gets a garbage touchdown. That's half of it. So
Vikings about ready to make a mistake, and then Green Bay defense will score a touchdown. I could see that.
Yeah, I could totally see that. And you're a Vikings. Oh, well, your team was in it for a while. Listen, you got a Giants fan and you got a Jets fan. So, yay for the Vikings in that case. But it's certainly possible. I think they're going to have to force Mannion to have to throw the ball. He might end up throwing a pick 6. I don't think Dalvin Cook will end up actually fumbling the ball. But yeah, that defensive line has not been able to get any push all day. And they haven't had time of possession, which means that the Viking defense is struggling there to just be able to contain this team. And between Jones, Dillon, and the rest of them, they're going to start pushing that defensive line of the Vikings back further and further. Yeah. By the way, respect to your username, too. I just want to point that out. Drive for Diabetes Awareness. I respect that. So right now, yeah. As a Vikes fan, I know your season's probably going to be pretty much done after tonight. I mean, not that you had much of a chance anyway.
Right, fourth shirtless guy.
There's a half-naked guy. Okay. We had and with alcohol, so you may be drunk, so keep yourself a little bit warm there.
In order to be shirtless in 10-degree weather.
Oh, dude. It might actually be less than that now, too. So, let's see. Weather, Green Bay. Yeah, it's still...
Yeah. Why are they showing Cousins stats when he's not even playing?
Because this is what they're losing out on. With the Green Bay.
We're just, our graphics department already made this, so we're just going to roll with it anyway. We need to kill time.
Why not? Yeah, right now it's currently showing, weather.com is showing a modest 10-degree weather at this point.
Mm-hmm. But wind chill of -8.
But I like this post right here. So pass over it does pick up about 3 or 4 yards on that. Westbrook picked it up, but they're going to have to start going to the hurry-up offense on this too. But this one, I'm curious if this is going to end up happening.
Does Mannion know enough of the playbook to even run a hurry up?
He might have to. I mean, he is the backup. He's been there for most of the season, so he should know the playbook relatively well. But again, in his entire career, he
But
has
is there
never
enough
thrown a
practice
touchdown.
reps though?
Typically, yeah, you get enough practice reps usually during midweek anyway. The third team, the third string quarterback is the one that usually you have to worry about because the third string quarterback is the one that simulates the opponent's quarterback to train the defense. He's the one that usually doesn't know the playbook nearly as well. Yeah, true. He actually been thrown underneath all day.
And he winds up to throw the ball and hasn't thrown the ball long the whole game. Yeah, what is his
Yeah,
longest? I think his longest completion is about 15 yards, if that.
it might be. And that was the flag on the play. There might be a hold on that, but they dropped him for a loss too. So, but yeah, Jones. I'm sorry, wrong team. I would say Dalvin Cook only eight rushes for 18 yards. So, still
Holding
second
penalty
down.
declined.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, just getting you have to prove that Minnesota is able to make this happen.
Yeah,
it was a week out of bounds. So I remember that one towards the end of the first half.
He did it twice, 2 plays in a row.
Mm-hmm. It did set up that field goal at the end of the half, though.
Which has been the entire Vikings offense so far today. Just have Dalvin
like
Cook play quarterback. At least that would make the theme a bit more interesting. Does he have any wildcat plays? Ronnie Brown style.
Oh, that was a 15-yard throw, incomplete, but 15 yards. Yeah, I know it's been a tough season for Minnesota. And losing Kirk Cousins for tonight was really the nail in the immediate coffin for this game. It's not like Green Bay didn't have enough to play for as it was, but to lose your starting quarterback like that and force the backup, we saw this with Ian Cook the other day with the Saints. So,
yeah, and Garrett Gilbert with Washington the week before that.
So, but it's the Saints are typically this kind of a level of team. It sucks. So Mannion is back, throws it over the top again, short pass though.
Yeah.
Third down and 15. It does get across midfield to about the 49-yard line, setting up a 4th down and 4. Man, 4th down and 3. But I would say, you know what? Go for it. What do you got to lose?
At this point, you got to go for it.
I think so.
You're in 4-down territory.
Mm-hmm. And I think at this point they are going to go for it. It makes sense. The Giants decided not to. They were down 14-3, had no offense going, got across midfield, and like, you know what, we're going to punt the ball in the second quarter, and they promptly lost 29-3.
Well, if they punt when they have a chance to win the Kansas City game earlier this year, of course they're going to punt.
Oh God,
for that.
And Jay Feely did not mince words in that broadcast. As the guy who holds the most points in the NFL, and threw it behind him, but had it. Jefferson had that first down, but it threw it behind him. Oh, that was a terrible pass.
That's 2 plays in a row to Jefferson, where the first one Mannion bounced it. When Jefferson was open on both plays, and Mannion just didn't put the throw there.
So, but that pass right there, like I said, he was primed to probably pick up some yards on that too. You throw it outside so you can just catch and run, and he could have picked up another 8, 9, 10 yards at a minimum on that, and kept that ball rolling. But instead, Green Bay takes over on downs, and they can start killing this clock as much as they want to. Yeah, I know. It's depressing. This game is turning into honestly. We didn't think honestly that Green Bay had much of a shot at losing this game, but this is starting to turn into a painful laugher. Tomorrow's game when we do it for the Browns and the Steelers, I think could be a little bit better because it could be Ben Roethlisberger's swan song, and I do believe that they'll win that game, but. Yeah, I was going to say in hindsight, maybe you could at least run the ball or run it for 3 yards. But here's the thing. I don't know if that would have happened because there was a lot of players underneath there. Yeah, like I said, okay, the third string quarterback is, like I said, they typically third string does. I thought he was go back up, but the third stringer works on. He's more familiar with the opponent's style. So he would normally be emulating Aaron Rodgers in a case like this.
I'm trying to pull up the Vikings roster right now. I thought he was a backup too. He would make a backup for arena football.
Well, hey, we got the USFL coming again. I'm excited about that. I'm old enough to remember the original USFL. I'll make sure that we get press passes for that too. So I don't know. I forget if Philadelphia is going to have a team like the.
I don't think so.
They had the first time. What's that?
I don't think Philly had a team has a team in the new USFL.
They had the Philadelphia Stars years, in the first time around. So I was at a USFL championship game and they won. But if Philadelphia has the Stars, I'll make sure it happens. So.
Wasn't that? I believe it was Jim Moore coaching that team, the Philadelphia Stars in the USFL.
I remember they beat the Generals in the playoffs in '85. Crushed me that there. Yeah, basically, no, we didn't forget to do our homework. We chose not to do it. There's a difference there. Part of my overall charm is just my ability to just sort of wing things.
Now we're looking at ice fishing.
Yes, because Green Bay.
Yeah. All right. Looking at the Vikings depth chart, they have. I guess this is as of today, where they have Mannion starting. The other two quarterbacks on the roster currently are Kellen Mond and Kyle Sloter.
Yes.
Never heard of either one of them.
Yes. Homework. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I have no problems with anybody taking pot or anything like that, but I have never had it in my life, except for one time someone gave me a pot gummy and didn't tell me after the fact. But I've never smoked it. I've never had it, really. Because, would you really want somebody as hyper as myself to have that?
Hey, it might calm you down.
Yeah, but do we really? Here's the thing. I know how alcohol treats me, so I don't know how that would. Pass over the middle. It is complete. Adams, I'm sorry. Picks up the first down and then a little bit more. Like I said, I got no problem if anybody does, whatever. But, yeah, for me, I would almost be nervous, partly being asthmatic. I'd wonder if it would have like a weird impact on me.
Let's stick with edibles then.
What's that?
Stick with edibles then.
Oh, yeah. So.
And Unique said it at the same time I did.
And a quick rollout, completion, and first down again. And a little slide and he's safe. Smoke every blue moon. Yeah, I'll say. Well, blue moon. What was the blue moon? Second full moon in the course of a month? Is that what it is?
I don't remember.
I know it's not that often, but the actual physical blue moon.
I know there is like an actual definition for it, but I forget what that is.
I do have problems with drunks. I'll give you that one too. So blue moons are that's probably true. So second down and 1. And fake head up. He's still passing the ball a lot. But he runs for the first down and picks it up anyway. And he's out of bounds. And I'm surprised they're still sticking with the passing game as much as they are.
I'd say probably until the 4th.
I think so. Or another touchdown here. I think that'll definitely do it.
Yeah. And I don't know what, as far as individual stats, we're getting to the time in the season where individual stats bonuses in contracts are in play for a lot of players.
That's true too.
So I'm wondering if I don't have his stats in front of me, but I wouldn't be surprised if because a lot of these players usually have bonuses in the contract, like running back. Running back gets over 1,000 yards, 1,500 yards for quarterback, X number of touchdown passes, and so forth. So if there's a passing yard or touchdown milestone that he's near, that might be why he's still in.
Could be. By the way, I want to send a quick thank you.
Yeah. There's a lot of players sometimes get benched as a result of that. It'll be interesting to see what they do with what happens with because the other one I know of, as far as how much he plays matters, is the condition of the Colts-Eagles Carson Wentz trade, and
that is true. Yeah,
he has to play in over 70% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure where he is on that. And I believe he's in COVID protocol still.
Wentz came out of that today, but thank you, by the way, Drive for Diabetes Awareness. I appreciate the follow. Thou art awesome. So, Donkashane. Donkashane. Sorry, your team sucks. We know the thing. Garland, Donkashane.
When the Vikes play Green Bay, it's a shootout. Zimmer forgot because he didn't trust Mannion. Yeah, that is possible. And yes, these Vikings-Packers games usually are shootouts.
Yeah, and it could be the fact that they're trying to do what they can with him, but they just don't have faith in that offensive line. Because I know you've been talking about that one too. But 3:30 left, but they're still, like I said, throwing the ball deep down the sidelines, overthrown. It's going to be incomplete, bring up a fourth down. So it'll send out the kicking unit as Aaron Rodgers just drops, I believe, an F-bomb on camera. All right. So right now, like I said, it's 4th down and 3 minutes left.
I think snowflakes are about all we don't have in that cold out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's getting to the point where it's when it's that cold, it is too cold to snow.
Yeah. Well, there's a big difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. And I think teams that struggle in their mind play not to lose. And I think that's what hurts their success so often. And that's part of the problem, I think, with Minnesota today. They had themselves defeated right from the beginning with Kirk Cousins being out. You say the right things in the press conference, you think about it a certain way, but in the back of your mind, you know what you're up against.
Yeah.
That might be a tough sell.
For a second. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. I'll say that one could be a little bit of a challenge right there. Oh, there we go. Close that out. Green Bay scoring 65 probably will not happen. I did predict 27-13, so I'm already under as far as how many points Green Bay was going to score. I think Minnesota will probably pick up some garbage points. Minion in his career has never thrown a touchdown pass in 6 seasons, so part of me kind of hopes he at least gets one for his career. He had 5 seasons with the Rams between St. Louis and also LA. He started 2 games, I think, in his career. He started 1 game with them overall, and then 1 game earlier this season with Minnesota. But he's never thrown a touchdown. So give him one, give him a game ball. Yes, your team's getting crushed, but at least give him some kind of a cool memory. But so sooner or later, this game will be over. At this point, it's 10:37. We are now 2 hours and 22 minutes in, and we have not started the 4th quarter yet. This game could easily go for another hour at this point. Could be one of the longest broadcasts we've ever had. So. Flag Football League, USFL. If we had the XFL, I would love to actually. I love the XFL. I really freaking did. I know I've talked about it on the show before, but my God, I had so much fun basically covering the XFL last year because anytime that, the fans will drink with the players and drink with us in the press box, it was just such a cool blue collar environment and nobody cared. It didn't have this disconnect like the NFL had. The commissioner of the league is literally drinking shots with the fans. And I'm like, this is the kind of league I want. So I'm really sort of hoping in some ways that the USFL is going to be like that too. So I'm putting a lot of faith in The Rock and Danny Garcia on this one. Social justice. Inspire change. Still cool with it. Can't actually hear what they're saying because I put it on mute, but that's okay. So, but yeah, USFL comes back for us old farts that actually remember the USFL. I'm actually really excited because it's been 35 years since we had that league. Anyway, 3:22 left. Green Bay is up by a modest score of 30-3 and about ready to kick off. Yeah, in some ways I would say that, but on the other side, I would also say you want to protect your players from injury. Yes, I know the season's going to get lost, but you also don't want to see anybody get hurt at this point. So, kick is being taken out. I don't like that idea much. From 2 yards deep in the end zone. Good run back, cross the 30, cross the 35. So great run back just despite that. But that was a bit of a big gamble to burn that clock to be able to pick up that extra 10 yards. A lot of confidence. Give him respect on that. But I think we've got a good shot of being able to finish this game probably in the next hour. Can't go. Well, I was going to say, if it's too cold, sometimes you can't catch a cold. I don't think you can catch a cold in Siberia. There's no the flu, but the viruses can't survive there. It's all right, dude. I'm an 80s and 90s kid. I have very fond memories of falling off the back of my truck and sleeping in my car in the middle of winter. I get it. First down across near the 46-yard line. Jefferson picks up about 11 on that. I have also distinct memories of eating cheap ramen noodles and pasta with ketchup packets. That was my life for a long period of time. So I got a roof over my head, bed, and I got a nice basement. Best life I could ever, man. So first down and 10. Mannion throws the ball and immediately tipped it, behind the line of scrimmage. And second down very quickly. Yeah. So Justin Jefferson right now is only 8 yards away from 1,500 in the season right now. Second overall to Cooper Kupp, who has an outside shot of setting the NFL record for most completion yards in the NFL season. Going to be tainted a little bit with tiny little asterisk because it's a 17-game season versus a 16-game season. But it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it, roll with it, and love it. 46-yard line, 2:47 left. Second down and 10. Mannion is back, throws over the little screen pass, and is going to pick up. They'll lose a yard, I think, on this one and set up a third down and very long as the clock continues to run. Okay. Looks like Dalvin Cook is walking a little funny too. It could just be the cold. I mean, by God, like I said, it's freezing out there. You could get a little crampage. I saw that with the NYCFC this year when they were playing up in New England. All the New York players were starting to cramp up by the end of the fourth quarter or second half. Gone. Blending my sports here. So 2:04 left in the third quarter. Third down and 11. Mannion back from the shotgun, throws the ball short underneath and about a yard short. They're going to set up a fourth down. They're going to have to clearly go for it. But you know what? It was not a bad pickup on that. I don't usually like it underneath, but it's clearly 4-down territory. And Zimmer, my God, that nose is red. I was going to say Dalvin Cook looked a little funny. Again, it could just be cramps because of how absolutely nasty cold it is out there. You don't pass on this case. You got to hand. Oh, all right, that's fine. Quarterback sneak, fine. Run the ball in some facet or form. Don't pass it. Don't pull what Tom Brady did in that game where they got shut out, where it was a 4th down and 1. He's like, you know what? I'm going to throw deep down the sideline on a 4th down and 1 while my team is trailing by 9 points. So that worked out well. But basically coming to the close end of the third quarter right now. Throw short underneath and down after about picking up 6 yards. Clock continues to run. Probably one more play, I'm thinking, in theory, before the end of the third quarter. And continuing to get colder as the day goes on. Dude, I like rugby. Here's the thing about rugby in the U.S. I had somebody on last week that was asking about, somebody from London. And they were like, I'm trying to understand American football. It's it's like rugby, but slower moving. And that ball is, oh, shit. First down. Oh, dude, I love it. That's going to be the highlight reel of the day, basically, for Minnesota in this case. It was at Bradbury. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, nearly could have been picked. And instead, you got a lineman who catches the ball, picks it up, runs with it for about 20 yards. And you know what? That, I think, is the longest pass play that Minnesota has had today. Oh, dude, I personally love it when a lineman catches the ball and runs with it. There is just something absolutely hilarious about it because it never happens with them. And it's such an awesome moment. Oh, man. So I am on a delay, yeah. So I'm trying to figure out how that delay works, but by God, I was so happy with that. I think there's a delay between what I'm saying right now and what's being broadcast on Twitch. It's like a 6 or 7 second delay. I don't know how to fix that. I got to try and figure that out because it is a little irksome. But yeah, that might be the longest play that Minnesota has had from scrimmage today, and it required a lineman to rumble for an extra 15 yards. So 19 seconds left in the third quarter. Time definitely for one more play. Still sitting. No game. The game clock hasn't started running yet. So, sorry about that. So now the game clock is starting to go. 16 seconds, 15 left in the third quarter. If I was Minnesota, I would say screw it. Just try to get one more play. You need every second you can get right now. Yes, I did. Very much yes. I freaking love that Udo. That Badberry one. All right. Thrown over the top. And there's his first touchdown of his career. So. So. Wait, which one are you talking about? You talking about the touchdown right now? You talking about the Bradbury one or you know what? I gotta respond directly to that. I'm gonna respond to you directly on this because I bet your ass I responded to that shit. Oh, dude, that was a hilarious freaking play.
Of course, I come back in right after the touchdown.
Yeah, the Bradbury dude. I totally responded to that.
I heard the laughing.
I went out. Yeah, okay. He said it. I heard the laughing because it was. Yeah. Oh my God, that was so freaking cool. You know, arguably, like I said, the longest play from scrimmage that Minnesota had, and it took a rumbling lineman to pick up an extra 15 yards on what could have easily been an interception or a fumble. And oh, dude, that made me so happy. I don't know why it has. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get rid of that now. By the way, I don't know why it actually said, "Yeah, Minnesota's coming back. Why not?" You know, cut into that lead a little bit now, 20-point lead. Yeah, I don't know why Twitch is on a delay versus what I'm watching right now. I would love to be able to try and shorten that time frame a little bit if I can, but I don't know what I need to do. That's an Obi question.
I don't even know if it's even possible. I think just through the nature of the streaming and the delay, I don't even know if just there's naturally a few seconds delay in there.
That one I would say no to, but you know, for your sake, why not? Yeah, I would love that just because of the fact that I'm on a delay right now, which doesn't seem to bother most people, but sometimes once in a while it does. The people outside the U.S., that never bothers them, I've noticed. People that have like typically got Comcast or something, it never bothers them. So, yeah, you know what? Minnesota D could. But again, it's going to have to be a fumble. It's not going to be an interception. I think at this point with the fourth quarter, you're going to expect to see Green Bay running the ball a hell of a lot more. And you're going to have to require some kind of a Dylan Adams fumble. Or, you know what? You hit your Aaron Rodgers and knock the ball out of his hand. But you know what? Why not? I did say 30 to 13 or 27-13, so you never know. There you go. So Dylan fumble and he scores. You know what? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So, but you're down by 3 touchdowns. Weirder things have happened, but I'd like basically because I want to tell you something good that they could, but like I said, I just don't see it necessarily happening. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers starts getting panicky and then starts throwing interceptions repeatedly. You know, I don't know what that is that's on screen right now.
I think it's a lot of shredded cheese.
That would make sense. And dear God, that would
make it like hay.
You know, I thought it was hay or rice or something. But if that is nothing, there's
5 shirtless guys.
I will count that as a half-naked guy. You know, so we're up to 8. We hit the 8, and boy, you got the fat guys too. Yes, fat drunk guys, half naked, and in like 10-degree weather.
All right, are we counting that as 6, 7, 8? Are we counting that as 2 or 3?
Oh, I counted that as 3. I counted that as 4 because we had the one guy, and then we had the other 3. So we officially hit. Yes, you know what? You gotta live. You gotta believe. You know, take the old Mets mantra from the '80s. You gotta believe. So, but yeah, so we're officially at 8 half-naked guys. I'm gonna count the guy in suspenders in this case because you saw nipple. Um, but all right, so right now Minnesota and New Orleans are still technically mathematically in the hunt. How would Minnesota be on 9-8? Yeah, it's possible. They could still pull it off, but they'd have to win this game to do it. So 30-yard line.
That that Saints Eagles tiebreaker from earlier in the season could be a stumbling block.
Absolutely, yes. My buddy Tom was sending me messages all day today about how pissed off he was at the head coaching staff of the Eagles. He's a hardcore Eagles fan, and he was livid the entire time. And I'm like, dude, your team is in the playoffs right now, and my team had 24 passing yards the entire day. Shut up. You don't get to complain here.
Well, just the thing with the Eagles is that
they're just never happy.
And also just watching them, like, they've never, like, the Eagles aren't really a team that wins so much as they're a team that lately has been playing well enough not to lose.
Yeah, but sometimes that's good enough in most cases. Sometimes it's good enough.
Yeah. Wow. That is interesting. They were unbeatable until 2000. The Packers were unbeatable in the playoffs until 2001, and they've been 7-6 since then.
Well, two of those losses, number one seed. One of them was against the Giants, I think.
Yes, one was against No, I think they were a 2 seed that year.
Was it the Lawrence Tyne field goal?
Yeah, I thought they were a 2 seed because they had beaten Dallas, the 1 seed, the week before. I thought, but I don't remember.
The Giants beat Dallas the week before. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember if Dallas was the 1 seed or Green Bay was the 1 seed that year.
Something in my brain's telling me that Dallas was a 4 seed that year. When the Giants won via wild card. But, yeah, because I was living in Summit at the time, and I remember that as the game before. And then the Lawrence
I remember they beat Dallas, and then they beat Green Bay, but I forget who was the 1 seed that year.
Aaron Rodgers, incomplete pass. Curious decision. But I remember I was hanging out with a dude over in Springfield, and that was the game where Brett Favre threw the interception in overtime. And I remember him looking at me and saying, that could be the last pass that Brett Favre ever throws in a Green Bay uniform. And it was.
Yeah. I remember a similar weird moment, but like seeing that, but not realizing it at the time that it would end up being the last one was Peyton Manning's last game with the Colts was the 2010 playoffs where they lost to the Jets in the first round.
First down over the middle. Yeah, I was going to say, after his short rebound, shall we say, season with the Jets, going to the Vikings, he was great the first season. Second season, he was starting to really show his age. But that first season, he shocked a lot of people. Yeah. And he impressed a lot of people, because remember, Brett Favre was always the habitual, I'm retiring, I'm not retiring type thing. And it got really old after like the third time, let alone the 8th time. But when he went to the Vikings, yeah, he had a really good first year with them. But that was 2009, I think. It was 9 and 10, I think he was with the Vikings.
It was 2009 and 2010 that he was in Minnesota, because it was 2008 with the Jets. And
and that started well.
If Favre actually cared about, Favre had that last month of the season with the Jets. He had hurt his shoulder. He was playing with a bum shoulder, but because he cared more about preserving that stupid streak, he refused to actually sit out. To let the shoulder. I
remember that. Yeah.
So because of Favre's selfishness is why they missed him. Is why they tanked. Why they tanked down the stretch that year.
Well, they started at 8-3 and they started to fall downward anyway. But I mean, we've got a lifetime.
They were 8-3, and they were 8-3, and then they went 1-4. The rest is they went and they won one game. They were 1-4 the rest of the season.
Getting Brett Favre as a Vikings fan had to be like a gigantic knife, just like twist that thing, And I can understand how cool that would be. To get a Hall of Fame quarterback and just have him and know that twice a year he is playing against the team he came up with. Ironically, actually, he was not supposed to be the guy in Something About Mary either. It was supposed to be Steve Young.
Really?
But
I didn't
Steve
know
Young,
that.
yeah. But Steve Young read the script and didn't want to be associated with something that he felt was too vulgar. So, like,
Yeah.
Brett Favre, you want to do it? He's like, okay, cool.
Yeah, which
So
if
as a
you,
result,
I
again,
mean, Steve Young is related. He's related to Brigham Young.
that's right. Yes, he's Mormon descent there, isn't he?
Yeah, like first family Mormon descent. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm guessing that the writers for There's Something About Mary did not read up on that before offering him the that role. So
I don't
understandable.
know.
So knowing that background, it makes sense why Steve Young would read that script and say, "Nope, I'm out."
But it's funny, we wouldn't have had the line Favre. I don't
Yeah.
know what line they would have used in that case instead. I mean, it would not nearly have been as funny without by saying
I
Steve
think the
Young.
Favre line was ad libbed.
It could have been, you know. Um, Here's the thing about Ben Stiller. He is a comedian on camera, but he is very, very strict off camera. He does not screw around. He does not. He is an intimidating presence on camera or off camera. I swear to God.
Have
I
you worked? Have you
honestly,
worked on a project with him?
I've stood in a few projects that he's directed. Yeah, There's a project coming to Apple TV right now called that was Severance or Tumwater, and he directed most of those episodes. And yeah, he is weirdly intimidating. I mean, he's got gray hair now and everything like that, but there's just something about him that makes you uncomfortable. Like you don't want to fuck up.
I can see that.
you know,
And
I mean, it's good.
I've heard a few stories from conventions or whatever, or like people that have randomly bumped into him while he was out, and most of them, I believe, were saying that he wasn't a very nice person. Like running into him, I don't know how much I've heard. I've heard more instances of negative interactions with Ben Stiller than positive ones.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that he is. It's on camera. Like I said, he's quirky, he's goofy, he's the everything Ben Stiller that you know. But off camera, he is very, very, very meticulous, and I think that's what adds to a little bit of an intimidation factor. So, but he wasn't bad on Severance though, because it was more of a directorial as opposed to an acting side of it. And honestly, I got to give Apple TV credit. They're good at their shit there. So, we never had any more than 10-hour days. I love it. You don't know the 16, 17-hour shit here. So anyway, back to this right now. 11:22 left. Second down and 5. Green Bay is moving the ball down the field and has a damn good shot at picking up another touchdown, or at least another field goal here, but burning clock. They are still sticking to the pass, though, which I find, like I said, a little surprising. Probably wouldn't have happened if Minnesota hadn't gotten that touchdown, but Dillon picks up more yards.
I think they go one more touchdown before calling the dogs off.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, if it's 37, even 33, but at that point it's a 3-touchdown game technically, but you need to get 2-point conversions every single time.
Yeah. These clips of Rodgers hitting the hoop from 30 yards away, are they from earlier today?
I guess so. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, would it really surprise you
how
long he's been doing this?
I mean, but he was wearing shorts was the surprising part.
It might have been, maybe it was this week inside a practice facility. That could have been it. So they might have a separate practice facility, kind of like the Jets have on Florham Park. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had
every team has one now, either on site next to the stadium or somewhere else.
That's probably what it was. It was probably the inside facility. So first down and 10, quick short. Another completion, picks up about 7 yards on that. His numbers right now have got to be phenomenal.
Rodgers' numbers for the season?
No, today. 27 for 36, 281, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So he's at a 75% completion rate. Compare that again to Mannion, who did get his first touchdown. I did say I wanted him to get a touchdown. He did. So he has a career touchdown pass.
Mannion surprisingly has an 89.9 quarterback rating. 19 for 29, 151 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, sacked twice.
Okay.
So that's actually not awful.
No, it's not. But it's not enough to be able to overtake.
Not great, and certainly not helpful for the Vikings winning. But that's not as bad as Book on the
Ian
Saints
Book.
last
I was going
week.
to say Ian Book the other day.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ian Book, Mike Glennon. I don't know what Justin Wilson did today, but they put up 24 points, so he couldn't have been that bad.
Rodgers' numbers 29 for 38, 76% completion,
Mm.
288 yards,
Yeah, I was going to say he's closing
3
in on
touchdowns,
300.
no interceptions
He
on a
might want to actually break a
14.8
300.
quarterback rating.
If he gets a touchdown here on this pass, actually be 300 yards too.
Yeah.
It's under pressure though.
Yeah.
And he's going to just run with it. First down, slide, safe.
One other thing about Favre with the Vikings was that although I really didn't like Favre by that point, it was cringy seeing the way where, if you'll remember, that was the same year that the Metrodome roof caved in. So they had
Yes, I remember that.
So they had to play their last few games at TCF, the
Mhm.
University of Minnesota Stadium, which does not have field heating.
Mhm.
So it was frozen. It was frozen solid, and where the field was frozen solid, and you just saw Favre go down, and his head bounce off that ice turf. It was just like, ooh, yeah, that's a bad concussion there.
There's certain things that you remember about Favre, and that's one of them. His slide sack that he had with Strahan.
Right.
We've talked about that one once or twice. um,
There we go. You know how I
yeah.
said that there's got to be an individual bonus. 4,000 yards.
Mhm.
He has 3,977 yards. He's going for 4,000.
He'll get, and if he needs to, he'll get that next week.
That's why he's still passing the ball.
And also, since at the same time, he's neck and neck with Tom Brady for MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So that could come right down to the wire on that too. But so 8:46
MVP, I
remaining.
think, is Rodgers at this point.
What's that?
I think it's Rodgers. Like, I
I think
personally
so.
think Rodgers is the MVP more than Brady is this year.
His quarterback rating is better. He doesn't have as many passing yards, but again, the rating's better, the record's better. And solidifying it right here would be a great, lockdown on that too. Dylan is in for the touchdown, and that is going to do it.
Dylan
Yeah,
dragged
there we go.
defenders about 3 yards into the end zone there.
Yep.
Second and third effort. Just ran over.
So, but yeah, this is going to be over pretty quick here. So,
yeah.
And
if you took the over, you just got it.
Yes, you did.
You just got the 42.5. We just passed the 42.5 over.
And you know what's funny about that? It's a game I covered because usually, again, I don't get that lucky that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm more interested in tomorrow's game than I thought I would be. Because again, it could very well be kick is up and good. It could very well be Ben Roethlisberger's last game in a Pittsburgh uniform at home. And I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win well. So, but I myself am going to pop out for a minute if you're all cool with it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so 37-10 in the fourth. We got about 8:41 left, and at this point, the Packers got to just be running the ball. We'll see if Mannion can get anything to happen here, but excuse me, a little too late at this point. And the loss, of course, eliminates the Vikings from playoff contention and clinches the number 1 seed for the Packers. Vikes guys just thought, no way I'm stopping this dude, and they didn't. They dragged him about 3 yards. That Packers running back just dragged the defender 3 yards into the end zone. I haven't seen anything like that in a bit. So I'm not sure if Cousins is coming back next week, but it doesn't make much of a difference if they lose today. And yeah, Dylan was a beast on that play. Yeah, so we have Steelers Browns tomorrow, and I think they'll pick either the excuse me, for the Sunday night game next week. I think they go with either Vikings, Cowboys, or the Chargers. Yeah, Vikes D got used their heels. It's a little hard to dig in on frozen turf, but should have tried. That dude in the Simple Safe Home Security commercial with that mustache was poking through the hat was a little creepy. And we have more we found a random skier at the Packers game, which leads easily into the plug for the Winter Olympics coming up. Packers D doesn't have a problem, but the Vikings do. Must be the shoes or that guy's light on his head. All right, Packers. Getting back to action here. Packers about to kick off.
Got to be the shoes. Remember that line.
Yeah. Crosby kicks off, lands in the end zone. He's returning it, and gets it out to about the 19.
So, the Bill Parcells binder, Mike Zimmer's. Best friends will disappoint you. 4 or 5 things happen in football every day you wish wouldn't happen. If you can't handle those things, you need to get out of the job. And it's lonely. Yes, it is.
I didn't realize
Parcells has been divorced a few times in his career because of his dedication to football.
Most coaches do. It has a very hard for NFL coaches to maintain a marriage usually.
Yeah.
It's a tough life. Coaching is a tough life.
Yep.
I didn't realize Zimmer was a Parcells disciple.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say you've got a new quarterback in there. So it looks like
He must have worked with him
tonight at this point.
He must have worked with him in Dallas.
Could have. That was actually when Parcells got re-divorced again too. Completion, but behind the line of scrimmage, it's going to be a drop for a loss on that too.
Yeah, he was a defensive coordinator. He worked with the Cowboys for a long time in various roles from '94 to 2006.
Okay.
So he was a that would have made him the defensive coordinator for Parcells.
And basically '94 is I think when Parcells left New York too.
No, by '94 he was in New England.
Was it? Okay. So I thought maybe '93 was last year, and nearly picked for a 6 too. Oh my God, that would have been a pick.
Parcells retired from the Giants after due to the heart issues right after Super Bowl 25.
Was that what it was? Okay. Who did they have after that? It was Ray Handley after that.
It was Ray Handley because Belichick had already left for Cleveland. Okay.
Yeah, Belichick left for Cleveland, failed royally, and basically people were like, he's never going to amount to anything. And then, after Handley, you had Dan Reeves. And then after that, you had Jim Fossil.
And he came to the Jets in '97. That was how I became a Jets fan.
You know what? It was a good grab. It was a great grab. You know what? I got to be honest. I think in this case, Minnesota has conceded. Because when you're down 27 and you decide to punt the ball, I think that's pretty much the sign that you're done here. Yeah, free comebacks, but
it is possible, but not like
I don't think Green Bay is going to be dumb enough to make a mistake of that magnitude. Yeah. Because they gave up. That's why. So. Now, see again, if you see this commercial here.
Yeah.
You can granted you have Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, but they're all in one location. Okay, sometimes they're standing up, sometimes they're sitting down. That's fine, but it's not like all the work that goes in with the Baker Mayfield commercial. Quick in, done. So when your coach gives up, so do your players. I know I'm a Giants fan. They freaking Giants gave up. And the Giants were down 14 points on 2 turnovers on their first 2 drives. And they were just like, we're done.
The Giants have essentially given up the season at this point.
They've given up 2023 while they're at it. So, but I mean, again, this was a huge uphill battle for that Vikings team. The Green Bay defense is solid because Aaron Rodgers keeps them off the field and keeps them rested. That's the thing there. If they can keep, if you can keep Aaron Rodgers from having the ball, the defense will cave. But the problem is
they're a decent defense, but they're not that good. They're not one of the best in the league, but they're solid.
Sure. But Aaron Rodgers, 29 for 38, 288 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mon's 2 for 3 for 5 yards, so I'm not sure what his QB rating is there after that. But Mannion ends 19-29, 151 and a touchdown. I don't know. Let's find out.
I didn't see if Manning got hurt or did they just bench him.
Nah, they'll probably just call it. Protect him for next week, maybe.
Oh, yeah, because they have someone to play for next week.
Go on a higher-ish note. Browns, Packers. I'm not pulling it up as fast as I would have liked. There it is. Yeah, Christmas. So the Browns the Browns picked up a lot of rushing yards on that. Ballpark a little over 200. 126 for Chubb, 58 for Johnson, and Schwartz and Mayfield had 35 combined. So just a hair over 200 yards on that. 219. So to answer this question, yeah, they had 219 yards rushing, 189 yards passing. Nice done. Sorry. I just inadvertently pinned a comment I didn't mean to do. So 6:52 left. Sorry, in the game.
Randall Cobb might be coming back next week, or at least for the playoffs, because he does have an IR designation to return.
And hit behind the line of scrimmage, but still able to turn it into maybe about 3-yard pickup for, I guess, Dylan. Yeah. That's part of the issue with Zimmer. Has to be aggressive here, and I think that's what you need to do when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback like Rodgers and you have somebody like Brady. You have to be aggressive to keep them from getting the ball. But 114.8 QB rating, which, believe it or not, is pretty close to on par for the QB rating that Rodgers has had at home for his career.
Zimmer's game plan was knife, and Packers coach game plan was AK.
So, bring a knife to a machine gun fight. Heard the line once, like attacking a tank with a toothpick.
Yeah, and it is Rodgers is done for the day, so we do have a bit of Jordan Love practice time now,
which isn't bad. I mean, like I said, I think Jordan Love will get the start for tomorrow, for next week, and maybe all the reps do. Give him some practice.
I'm telling you, Rodgers is pissed about not getting 4,000 yards. You could see it in his face in that shot before on the sideline.
Unless they decide to do it next week just to get him over the hump. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe also at the same time, they're kind of like, you know what? Why bother? We know he's not our future right now.
Or they could say, all right, we'll give you the bonus anyway. You're not playing.
We can discuss. We're expanding. Maybe not so much the NFL, but we're actually pushing into soccer a little bit more. Rugby, you mentioned that a little bit's going to happen. MMA is going to happen. I got a few things in the pipeline that we're going to deal with. USFL, bet your ass I'm going to want to do that. I have so many things in my mind of what I wanted to do, and Obi and I've had conversations about this. So,
still passing while up 4 scores. Yeah, because Jordan Love needs some work.
Yeah, he needs practice right now. It's not a bad idea to give him a little bit. And he's just throwing short underneath passes that are only picking up a few yards every time. not taking any risk, and burning the clock, which is arguably one of the biggest things too. So, this isn't like playing a Madden game where you're just running up the score just to pad the numbers at the end. But yeah. Jordan Love, 26 for 43 this season, 277 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. So you can see with those kind of pass numbers, he's not throwing, he's not throwing deep. He's throwing short passes.
I believe the entirety of those stats are from that one Arizona game that
Could be.
Rodgers was out.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically the one where the COVID one that's now in the rearview mirror that pretty much everyone forgot. Yeah, 4-11. Yeah, I don't think Minnesota's even going to bother trying to stop the clock here. Well, try to be nice to the division rival, root them well, treat them well, and let them lead the way.
They're definitely at the point where they just want to end the game so they can go into the warmth of the locker room and get out of there.
Right. Well, roll out coverage. I was that was probably going to be an incomplete pass there because the coverage is pretty strong.
Nobody was open there.
Yeah. So 3rd down and 10 though. I think you're going to have to pass the ball here.
Yeah. Obligatory ice bowl footage.
Yeah. Dan Reeves throwing the ball.
I forgot about the Dan Reeves trick play.
Yeah.
In the ice bowl.
Well, everybody remembers Dan Reeves as, coach of, mostly I was going to say with Denver, but also with the Giants and Atlanta at the end.
Yeah, but he was a Cowboys player and assistant before Denver hired him.
Probably under Tom Landry, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Landry was head coach over there for decades.
So did Mike Ditka.
And Jordan Love may pick up the first down on that. He picks up the first down. Yeah. Or it's going to be damn close to it either way. But
imagine all the bar fights in Minnesota and Wisconsin. Oh, yeah.
We get New Jersey, basically New Jersey, New York in this case, and also Boston. So when the Yankees Red Sox rivalry was at its strongest, even to a degree, Patriots and like Giants, Jets, we saw it a little bit. But you guys, I think you had it worse.
Yeah.
First down in this case, so the clock is still running, 3 minutes left.
Although I just moved to suburbs just south of Philly, so Eagles fans are different level. That's a different level than Midwest drunk. Which one isn't necessarily better or worse than the other, but it's different.
Love that Zimmer. Yeah, the thing about the Eagles is that they pretty much hate any team that doesn't start with E or end with Gugh. And that's Philadelphia for you, and hardcore Philadelphia. Like I said, I like Philly, the city. It's a nice suburb, little town, comparing it to New York City, suburb, little town. But it's really, really chill, except when it comes to sports. And then it's perfectly acceptable to beat a man to death for disagreeing with you. So,
yeah. Or
2-minute warning.
Or for wearing a Rangers jersey while waiting in line for a cheesesteak after the game.
You don't want to do that, yes. Which, by the way, I saw some ad for, I think it was Kraft Singles, where it was things like, make Philly cheesesteaks the right way. Use Kraft Singles, and it had like the the slice coming off the plastic. And I just watched all the Philadelphia responses to that.
Oh no!
Do you ever have one of those things where like the comments are better than the commercial or anything like that? The comments are priceless. Yep. Oh my god! Yeah, it's even. Wanting like this, not cold.
I can only imagine the comments from the whiz enthusiasts, with the cheesesteak. I'm not big on cheese whiz on my cheesesteak. I'm not going to argue that. But no, you guys whiz versus American is Philly's version of the Taylor ham versus pork roll argument.
American and provolone is my choice. There's a place in Reading Terminal Market that makes a phenomenal cheesesteak. Love the hell out of it. And anytime I'm there, caramelized onion, chicken usually, and 2 cheeses, American and provolone. Now, Minnesota, you guys don't have the cheesesteak up there. I don't know what Minnesota state food is. Came across Colorado the other day. It's peanut butter and jelly with bacon. Minnesota
I have heard about that.
State. It's the thing that killed Elvis, basically. Minnesota State food.
I'm trying to remember. What because Steve Rushin, the Sports Illustrated writer, is from Minnesota, and he writes a lot, and he'll wax poetic about growing up in Minnesota for a while. And we're up to 9 shirtless guys.
Yeah. Oh well, he's got hair like right around the nip on that too. So okay, so you don't. All right, so you don't live there. All right, so you left Minnesota but stayed loyal to the team.
Grew up in Minnesota and left.
Where are you in Minnesota? Where are you if you left Minnesota then? All this time I thought you were from there. Florida. Oh,
Florida.
No, that's better.
No.
Yeah.
You don't like Minnesota cold. Florida is the place to go to get as far away from it as you can.
Florida is nice mostly all year round. You know, I was in St. Pete a couple of years ago, and it was May, so it was warm, but it was like just really, like I said, it was just comfortable, right on the water like that. But it's part of the reason why Florida has really crappy fan bases, because everybody is loyal to their home turf and then comes south. No state tax too. That's the point.
Yeah.
So Minnesota state food is the Honeycrisp apple.
Okay.
And it's famous for its wild rice. Florida state food. The one problem I will say about Florida, your pizza is crap. I'm sorry, your pizza is not good, man. So key lime pie for Florida.
Food, probably oranges and meth.
Key lime pie. Yeah. Home team record Sunday Night Football: 127, 128, and 1. So more teams actually lost last season at home than on the road. Well, I think people are leaving
to 500 this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it might, depending on what happens next week, it might go under 500 again.
You could. Hey, more naked people.
Yeah.
And they're thin too. At least when you're fat like that, you at least have a child, like almost like a small animal like hugging you to keep you warm.
It just means it takes less alcohol to get you drunk enough.
True indeed. Yeah. And throw over the top, incomplete, 145 left. Minnesota still has 2 timeouts if they want to try and pick up a couple of yards. Growth in states. Well, we're both New Jersey. So New Jersey, where our state motto is, we're actually better than you think we are. Seriously. Florida gets a bad rap for Florida, man. Jersey gets a bad rap for Italian shit and toxic waste.
Well, the problem is Newark Airport is right by a bunch of industrial sites, so it's the first thing that people see when they come here. That's why it gets the armpit of America reputation.
New Jersey's not a state. It's actually, it really kind of isn't. We are well aware. I think we're the 47th biggest state in the country. So we're
11th in population. So so most people per square mile. That's why everybody's so mad.
Yeah. That's fine. Listen, we're from New Jersey. We're used to getting crapped on. Minnesota doesn't take the kind of
we crap on ourselves.
Dude, we do. That's why our state motto is, like I said, we're better than you think we are. Really, honestly, we're not all Italian. I'm way too pasty to be Italian. Jeez, but it's funny. I've had people literally try to convince me. They're like, "You're lying to me. There's no way you can be from New Jersey because you're not Italian." They thought I had to be Italian to live here. And it's like, you realize we're not even like the highest percentage of Italians on the East Coast. Connecticut and Rhode Island have a higher percentage than we do.
See, New Jersey, at least we have seasons, unlike Minnesota, not as much.
Yeah, here, the fall around here is gorgeous. When the leaves start to fall, or the spring when the leaves start to come back, it's freaking amazing. But he just threw the ball as soon as put his hand in his warmers. Yeah, because I saw earlier Aaron Rodgers had hand warmers on the side of his face. He just kind of pushed them up against himself like that. But
yeah, they're just letting the clock run out at this point.
It's 6 degrees. I wouldn't be surprised if Mannion and even Aaron Rodgers are in the locker room at this point.
No, Mannion's actually back in. Mannion is back in for somehow.
That's a great catch. Holy shit.
I think it would have been pass interference anyway if he didn't catch it.
It probably would have been, but that was a brilliant catch. So one-handed catch that on a better circumstances would have been a highlight reel play, but you're down by 4 touchdowns. Yeah, and he maintained control the entire time.
That would have been a lot more helpful earlier in the game.
Information that could have been brought to my attention yesterday. But first down and 10, minute 8 left, 2 timeouts. Where has it been the last 2 quarters? Yeah, that's what we were just saying here. It's like, oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. That's the kind of stuff you needed when you were still in a close matchup. Because remember, this game was 6-0 for a long time. Very slow start, and then Green Bay just opened up and ended this thing. So, minute 4 left. We're only at 3 hours and 10 minutes, so this has picked up a little bit over the time. But boy, was that a slow start. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not big on Minion's mustache though. He's got this weird pedo thing going on with it. So, pass over the top, complete, and opts not to go out of bounds with it. Play like that, you got to take it out of bounds. So, is it Minion? Yeah, it's Manion actually. There's an ION on that. So, Minion. Technically in field goal range, but throw over the top, incomplete, and sets up a 4th down and 9. So this could very well be your ball game. Hugs all around. And you know what? Well deserved. Green Bay played a good game. They've had a good season.
Gus Johnson, that was the guy I was thinking of from the Smosh Try Not to Laugh, the guy that never,
okay,
the guy who never laughs. His name is Gus Johnson. If you look up what he looks like, he looks kind of. I think that Manning looks kind of like him. Thought his name was Minion, like the cartoon Minions.
Oh yeah, I totally.
Although he is a minion to Zimmer's awful play calling today.
And that's going to do it. Minnesota can be a douche on this one if they want to be and just, continue to take a timeout. But I don't think they're going to do that. But that pass was so heavily overthrown that would have been a pass reception or punt reception. Green Bay picks up the first round bye, which is going to be great to rest up that team. So really, when you think about it, they've got more or less 2 weeks off. Or, 2 games off.
Which I've never been a big fan of for the teams that have the bye anyway, to still rest everybody in the last game of the season. If somebody's hurt and you need them to, and you need 2 weeks off to heal is one thing, but voluntarily benching everybody, because a lot of the times they usually do, they usually end up coming, but they usually end up being rusty by the time they have to play in a game that matters.
That's fair.
It seems like that happened with the Colts every year.
Yeah. Well, you get hit pretty damn hard. I mean, football would not be my first sport of choice. Baseball would have been my first, because you make a lot more money, but, less likely to get really, really beaten up and injured.
Yeah. So, and it's a sport that is medically proven to turn your brain into crest tartar control.
See Antonio Brown right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to, yeah. But I'm good at this point. You got anything else, man?
Not really. We got Monday Night Football tomorrow night, Cleveland, Pittsburgh.
And very possibly Ben Roethlisberger's last game in a Pittsburgh, at home against Pittsburgh, and I'm guaranteeing they're going to win that game. I think they're going to go out on a high note. Yeah. I rarely make full out hardcore predictions, but I am predicting right now that Pittsburgh is going to win because they're going to want to give him a win. So, cool. Probably. So we'll be back 8:15 p.m. Eastern tomorrow to cover that one. It'll be me, and I'm not sure which one of the 3 of you guys is going to be. I'll talk about that later. But we'll cover that one. In the meantime, as always, like I said, this is Stream Punk Sports, so you can find us on Instagram or here at Stream Punk Sports, and also on Twitter and the upcoming YouTube page, or Twitter, eventually YouTube, and also eventual website at Stream Punk ENT. Right. So, but you, by the way, appreciate you too. You've been fun.
And thank you, Drive for Diabetes Awareness, uniquely, and everybody else who's commented today.
Yeah, And respect to basically the transplant who moved from Minnesota to Florida and is actually closer in my age group. Usually I'm used to being like, I'm 15 years old. If my mom finds out I'm up, I'm going to get in so much trouble. So it's nice getting somebody a little older. No, dude, you're fine. Trust me, I've seen a hell of a lot worse on this at this point, even though we've only been doing this for a couple of months.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you as always.
Trash talk.
What's that?
We've had way worse trash talk from people on this show.
Oh my, yes. So, all right. So we'll be back tomorrow. Have a great night, you guys. Stay awesome.